Alright, good morning guys. It is Thursday, September 28th. How's everyone's morning going? Yuri, Walkman, Jordan, thank you guys for being here first thing in the morning. How are you guys? Jordan says, hello again. Hello, Jordan. And Yuri says, I'm good. Woke up an hour ago and was waiting for it. Well, thank you, Yuri. I appreciate that. How's Brazil treating you? Sean, good morning as well. How you been, man? We've been doing pretty good. We've starting to get caught up on my my schoolwork a little bit. Still a little behind, so we're gonna keep it to a 3-hour stream today. Also, it is in the schedule, but just as a reminder, I do have tomorrow off because I have a couple real life things going on, so I gotta take care of that. But we'll be back Saturday. I think Saturday, if I'm looking at this calendar right, is the last day of the Warlock race. So that is exciting. We've done pretty good this month. I think we've had over 50 contenders, so it's been a lot of fun. But let's go ahead and knock out the rules real quick, as always, early in the morning, just in case someone's watching it post-stream. So for those who are new to the Ironman challenge, the rules are as follows. There's no dying, no gear above white quality, no gear enchants, no talents, no potions, no flasks, no elixirs, no joining groups or raids, no killing dungeon or raid bosses, no food buffs, no XP boosting activity, no pet battles, no battlegrounds, no bodyguards, and no professions except for first aid. So getting through that quicker and quicker, I think. Jordan says, I'm good, man. On the same boat as Yuri. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you, guys. Fabio says, hello there. Good morning, Fabio. How are you? He says, I'm good, man. How you feeling after being sick? I'm catching back up. I'm doing pretty good. For those that don't know, I was sick earlier this week, so I got behind on the stream as well as schoolwork, so it's just been a little bit of a chore to catch back up, but we're getting there. I should be totally caught up by the end of tomorrow, hopefully. George Knight says, hey there from the UK. Well, good morning from the southern region of the United States. Says, shouldn't let real life get in the way of gaming sessions. Yes, I agree. It does get in the way more often than not. Hope you and Sam are good. And this balmy fall morning, we're doing pretty good. Sam is still passed out. I'm gonna have to take a picture of him one day, show you guys. We have him like a little, what do you want to call it? A little cushion, and it consists of foam inside of it, and so when he gets in it just kind of sinks to the bottom. That is by far his favorite little place to camp out and sleep. But let's go ahead and enter the world here and take this down, that way we don't run around with it for 15 minutes. And I think the AC just cut off, so guys, I'll be right back. Sorry about that. Alright, back in business. And Sean says, what level are you now? We are level 35. So hopefully today, I would say maybe it's feasible in the next, what, 3 hours to get to 40 possibly? It depends on Deathless, really. To be honest, Deathless is kind of slow, so there's definitely a possibility that we may not make it to 40. I would like to be done with Deathless today, but I think we need to run in that direction, so let's go ahead and make our way down south, I think. And then Sean says, hello, fellow Brit. Hey, Sean. And Portsmouth. And George Site says, East Midlands, South Coast warm today. You know, in one of the future plans of mine, I do want to make it to the UK and spend probably a good 2 or 3 weeks up there, and you know, visit all the various locations and sightseeing areas. It seems like there's just a ton of history that's that you don't normally find here in the States, that you do so in you know, Europe, generally speaking. I think the oldest building we have in our location is maybe 150 years old, so it's nothing like, you know, oops. Nothing quite like the history you guys have over in Europe, especially when it comes to how the, what do you want to call it, the architecture's evolved over the years. Now let's go ahead. We did not make our Hellstone yet, so let's go ahead and do that now. Since we're in this area, we can also pick up these skulls. So yesterday we picked up a quest to pick up 10 skulls. generally speaking, that quest is kind of out of the way, so it's one of those things that's not the most efficient thing to do, but it does give us free XP, so there you go. Xantric says, "Hey, pretty lady." Good morning, Xantric. What's going on, man? How you doing? Welcome back. How's the Warlock going for you? Oops, let's go ahead and take care of this guy. And get our health back up to 100% here. And Sean said, "Yep, it's hot here today. Got the fan on." And then Yuri says, "You need to come to Brazil." Yeah, the now Brazil, is there? I recently saw them in the news, but I can't remember what it was for. I know there's a little bit of, is it political unrest going on in Brazil at the moment, or am I thinking of somewhere else? So I thought Chile had something going on as well down south, but I can't remember. Alright, so let's go ahead and figure out where we can find. Alright, there we go. So sometimes these scores actually respawn fairly quickly, so it's not too much of a hassle if you have to kind of backtrack where you came from. We are getting a lot more of these Kodo apparitions spawning as opposed to last time. Go ahead and kill this bird, that way it doesn't bite us later. And Xantric says, "Not too bad, mate. Not down with the lock today," so I'll wait for the next challenge. Understandable, Matt, Xantric. I think a lot of people started to hit that burnout factor by about the 3rd week, so completely understandable. Plus, it's you know, the Ironman challenge is one of those things that can, what do you want to call it? Be especially not fun if you feel like you have to do it. It's a, given the fact that it's a challenge, I think a lot of people need breaks from it. So, all right, so man, there's a lot of these things popping up on us. I don't know where Sam's going. I don't think he knows where he's going either. I think Sam is still bugged out on this mob for some reason. I guess he wasn't quite done with that bird just yet. Alright, so with that, let's go ahead and see if we can find another skull here. Might have to take care of this guy. Then Yuri says, "Yes, we have political issues." I thought there was something along those lines going on, but I can't remember. Now, Yuri, is that, you know, Brazil is a massive country, so is that something that's all across the board, or is it, you know, there's better regions than others, or, you know, what's kind of the division there? Or, like I said, even in the oops, that's not good. Let's focus on killing this guy. Even in the US, you know, you have political unrest, but you know, in some locations they don't even know anything's going on in the other part of the US. So I'd imagine it's close to the same for Brazil, just being a country of that size. Yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised at the number of Kodo apparitions that have popped up here. Torchlight says, "Ton of history, you could say that spare room. Spare room if you need it, right on the edge of Peak District, split from Yorkshire Moors and Lake District." Yeah, that sounds pretty good, Light Torch. Might have to take you up on that in the near future. I'm one of those people that I do like to travel. I enjoy seeing different aspects of different cultures. There's always stuff, you know, that some cultures do better than others, and then other aspects that some cultures do worse than others, just like, you know, you would expect. And it's interesting to see what cultures master what angles of what do you want to call it? I guess of living quarters and whatnot. Case in point would be being in the Philippines. Trying to think of a good example here. In the Philippines, there's a couple of things that I preferred there more than the U.S. and then of course there's things that I don't. And in all the countries I've been to, it's always been like that. So it's interesting to see just how some cultures do things better or more efficient than others. Sean says, do you do Argus content on main off stream when you're not leveling? Yeah, Sean. Usually I do that with the girlfriend. We try to balance it so that's, you know, what we do on our off time. Maybe in the near future we can do that from time to time. What do you want to call it? We can do that from time to time on the stream. Just maybe, I don't know, maybe dailies. I'm up for anything really. But due to me being sick, it's kind of thrown a wrench into my plans of my feasibility to see if I could take on doing streams in the afternoon. I think it would be a trade-off. Like initially, I was doing extended streams. Oops. Yeah, I was afraid of that. I was going to do extended streams and then maybe do some afternoon streams as well, but it seems like for the most part that might be too much possible time online. So we may end up doing something along the lines of either mornings and only do extended stream, you know, do extended streams when we can do it, or split the time up and just keep it at 3 hours and then do some afternoon streams. So I'm not quite sure what's going to be the preference or the best path forward, but we'll figure it out. We got time. Alright, so with that, we'll pick up those 2 quests. I don't think we have anything from her. And yeah, let's go ahead and knock out this quest. Let's see, Peter said, did you die on your human warlock? I did. I died at level 66 in the Grand. I was trying to avoid 1 pack of mobs and then ran by a building and ended up pulling more by running away. And yeah, we went from I think from 3 to 7 mobs in about 5 seconds. So as much as we tried, we could not survive 7 mobs. Almost though. I think if we had 1 less, we might have been able to pull that out. Peter says, is there a video of it? There is. I want to say it was maybe last Thursday? I'm not sure. Like I said, I was sick earlier this week, so a lot of my videos haven't been retitled as well as timestamped yet, so I'm hoping to knock that out this weekend and finally get caught up with that. It's just been one thing after another on my end, so we'll get there. Jennifer says, morning peeps. Good morning, Jennifer. Yeah, I did. Yep, like I said, we've died 3 times in this challenge. One at 27, the other at 42 or 45, and then the last one was at 66. So that one was a hard one to knock out. I think if I had macroed that, what do you want to call it, that defensive spell into my cooldown, into my healthstone, I would have been able to partially survive, but I didn't do it. So I haven't even done it with the stone form yet. So with that, let's go ahead and plow our way here, and I think we'll kill this guy, and then we'll make our way back across in the other direction and kill the other guy, and then we can turn it in the cave. That's interesting. Okay, so let's see if we can get a little bit closer, and then Eco says, what's going on, Eco? Good morning. Says, wow, I saw James Cow, the Eternal Cowhand, with one of his cows on the border bridge between Westfall. I haven't seen him before. Yeah, I am completely unfamiliar with that, Eco. What is the relevance there, actually? Like, I don't recognize the name or anything to do. I know there's a you know, an ongoing joke between that kind of stems from, what do you call it, Diablo with the cow level, but that's the only thing I can think of in reference. John says, I watched someone else doing the Ironman. He's level 5800 at the moment. He died at level 62 in Outland on his mage. That's still pretty good. Getting up to 62 on your mage, that's not bad at all. I've heard he's been doing more and more I guess Ironman content. And I think he was on YouTube for a little while, and then I think he switched to Twitch, if I'm saying that right. But I think so. I want to say he had a pretty decent following on. Let's go ahead and knock this guy out real quick. Pretty decent following on YouTube as well as Twitch. Only says it's the Ironman limit. You don't practice emergency use all cooldowns because it's too dangerous. You're not ready to pop all your cooldowns because you haven't practiced. Yeah, exactly. Only. I've noticed that with the hunter. I think I need to. What do you want? How you want to say it? Blow a lot of cooldowns early on, because a lot of times you don't need them all, and then like you said, when you do need them, you don't have that muscle memory to pull from as quickly as you normally should. So I think that being said, I'm going to try to start utilizing. I meant to macro my stone form into my healthstone yesterday, but I did not do that. I did not do that actually. Let me write that down, because I got caught up with my classwork, and then yeah, it just went downhill from there. Let me write that down real quick. All right, so we're going to macro stone form into the Hearthstone. Not Hearthstone, Healthstone. There we go. Alright. Should be able to remember that now that it's been written down, right? That's the theory anyway. Okay, so let's go ahead and keep plowing through here. Sean says, yeah, he did switch to. Yeah, I thought so. I thought I saw him on the YouTube platform before. And I've actually had more requests than I expected to go to Twitch myself. I'm not going to make that move. I think I'm going to stay on YouTube, but we might dual stream, and we'll see if that's any, what do you want to call it? If there's any degradation in the quality of chat, we'll go from there. Michael says, hi, what's the Ironman challenge? Good morning, Michael. Welcome to the stream. I'll put that up for you. So pretty much Ironman challenge is to level from 1 to 100 without dying a single time, only using white and gray quality gear. I can go ahead and put my character up here. You'll notice that we only have white and I think gray. Yeah, white and gray right here. And it's a solo challenge, so there's no you can't even group up with people. There's no dungeons, there's no battlegrounds. You can't even do any sort of pet battling. It's pretty much leveling from 1 to 110 with the worst gear in the game, using solely by either grinding mobs or questing. And then Spiff, I think that's the first time I've seen your name as well. Good morning, how are you doing? Welcome to the channel. This is something that we've been doing for about 3 months in the early AM, and we're probably going to continue doing so for the rest of the year. I do want to start getting some, what do you want to call it, in-game content, whether that's raiding, whether it's PvP. It's just trying to find the ideal time to fit that in. Sometimes it can be a little bit, what do you want to call it, excessive gaming to do all that. So I don't know if you guys would prefer, say we have a day in the mornings, whether it's the weekend, say a Saturday, or maybe even a Friday where we do in-game content, or would you guys rather have that something reserved for afternoons if we can pull that off? I'm going to leave that up to you guys for the most part. It's you know, it's what you guys want to watch. I enjoy both. I do play in-game content, but I do it off stream with the girlfriend, so that's just something I do play anyway. But if you guys want to actually watch me go through and do the dailies, or talk about the content as we go through it, I am more than willing to do so. With that, once we turn in this quest here, these guys will become all, I think, neutral. I don't think they are friendly quite yet, but they become neutral. So we'll get there here pretty soon. I think we're not in combat, so we're good there. Spiff says, I'm good, thank you for asking. Glad to hear everything's going well, Spiff. Like I said, welcome to the channel. We are let me see. We are going into this cave here. Normally I try to blow up the pets first, just so we don't have to deal with them always hitting us, but these hit for very little amount, so it doesn't really matter too much. Plus, when you consider the fact that we have the Chaos Bolt, whenever the Chaos Bolt is available at this level, it's still pretty close to one-shotting everything, so excuse me. Go ahead and sneak our way in here. Only says another reason why Hunter is easier iron class. Run to a quiet spot, feign death is much simpler plan than use all cooldowns, especially in panic. Yeah, and only that's actually a really good point that I've thought about when it comes to, say, the easier versus faster discussion that we've been, you know, I guess kind of debating on the channel for the most part. Is there that major aspect right there? Oops, let's go ahead and blow this guy up. Is that, you know, with the Hunter you do have a lot more cooldowns, but I don't know, that is a good point in the sense that you do have not only more utility as a Hunter, but you also have more what do you want to call it? More simpler, if that's a word. We'll just say simpler application of that utility. Like you said, just rather than oh wow, it despawned. So if you one-shot them, they despawn. So like you said, if, you know, rather than having to figure out a whole path of running away, you can just go to an open area, feign death, and everything resets as long as your pet dies. Let's go see if we can one-shot this guy too. It says stay on YouTube queue. Oh, we'll do. YouTube's definitely where we're going to stay. It's just a debate whether or not to dual stream. Because like I said, one of the things I've enjoyed about this channel more so than a lot of channels is the quality of chat we have here. It's just, you know, we don't have to have a bot spamming in the background or people typing in gamble commands just to kind of keep the chat moving. We pretty much have a very fluid chat, and I would say high quality chat. What did I miss here? Why did I not get that? I ran too far. I thought we killed him. Did we not get credit for that? Alright, we're going back out, guys. We have to kill this third guy here. That's interesting. I am 90% sure we killed him, but that's alright, we'll run back. And Now says, morning, good luck today, Q. Thank you, Now. How's everything going on your end? Life treating you good? It's still looking like the 10th? Let's go ahead and... We do not have any sort of goblin gliders, or I would drop down there. I haven't had a chance to purchase goblin gliders yet. Reason being is sometimes you can sell stuff on your phone app, but you can't purchase stuff. I don't know why that is, but that seems to be the case, and I haven't been able to purchase the goblin gliders without having to you know, set aside a little bit of time and run there on the character himself. So I'll have to do that. Torchlight says, new question, you seem to know these places. Is this content and areas that you've played through before? Yes, Torchlight. So we've actually, or I've actually, which one is this? This is my, I guess technically my 9th time in this area. So yes, I do have a lot of background knowledge as far as the, you know what, I should have saved my Chaos Bolt. I do have a lot of background knowledge when it comes to these zones. It starts to dwindle a little bit as I get further and further along, just because we haven't been there as much. But yeah, no, I've been here more times than I care to admit to, but I have been here quite a bit, so we'll get there. It's just one thing I've always, you know, said when it comes to dying and attempting the Ironman challenge. One, the Ironman challenge is a lot, what do you want to call it? A lot more feasible, a lot more enjoyable if you go in with the anticipation knowing that you probably will die. It's just the nature of the beast in the Ironman challenge. So when you do, it's, you know, it's not as detrimental and doesn't take the wind out of yourself, so to speak. But also, when you die, you want to, as much as possible, stick with the same path. Meaning that, you know, if, for example, I think on our second attempt, we died in Desolus. And we died due to the Nagas. Well, you know, having gone through that death, we now know that every time we level through Desolus, to be extremely careful and watch out for those guys, for the Nagas over on the coastline. And if we had switched, say, to the Horde, or even, you know, a different leveling path for the Alliance, it would have just been, you know, that death would have been almost for nothing, if that makes sense, because that knowledge of what to look out for in Desolus is no longer applicable to what you're doing. So, as grindy as it may be, and sometimes as difficult as it is to continue on the same leveling path, that's probably one of my bigger pieces of advice for the Ironman challenge, is to just stick with your same leveling path as much as possible. For example, for this Warlock race, whether I leveled a gnome, a human, a dwarf, or a worgen, every time I tried to that's long response ever. That's funny, Lois. As much as possible, I've tried to you know, start in the same starting zone, and that is Teldrassil. So every time I die, I make an effort to start back in Teldrassil. Lois, that's funny. Good morning, by the way. How are you doing? I was on my phone the other day. I saw what Queen Veru. So I'm glad she's doing alright now. She's not doing alright, but she's back online. So I'll have to try to catch her maybe tomorrow afternoon. We'll see. Miss Fish says, how long have you been playing WoW? I've been playing probably a year. I think about a year after Warcraft came out. So I've been playing since vanilla, if that... Let's see, we need to go in this direction. But yeah, I've been playing since the days of vanilla. Now it says, very good, thanks you. Yep, symptoms have died off, so bums this input. Very nice. Well, at least he knows his day is the 10th. Let's go ahead and I think we need to move in this direction. John says, do you have a lot of legendaries on your main queue? I do. I think I have... I main a Frost DK, and I think I have all of but one. I might not have my leggings. I think I have all the rings. I have my helm and everything, the trinket as well. I think the only thing I don't have on my DK is the leggings, if I remember that right. And Sean says, whoops, that was Sean with the legendaries. Which I said, you're basically speedrunning. Wow, kind of. As much as we can. I think when it comes to speed, Eastern Kingdoms is a little bit faster. I'll find out for sure once we start trying to level over there. But yeah, for the most part, this is, I wouldn't say mundane, but you know, a lot of this is expected. I know where a lot of the dangers are and everything else, so there's not too much that I expect to kill me in Azeroth, aside from maybe, you know, a bad pull, or maybe an unexpected phasing or patrol or something along those lines. But for the most part, the path we take is pretty much set. I say that, but I think Thousand Needles is still going to be kind of dangerous. I am going to try to do the boats on this one, just because Nels had success with the boats in Thousand Needles, and then I think Santric and one or two other people said they had no issue in Thousand Needles, so I think we'll give it a shot this time around. Alright, so that's that. We'll go ahead and nuke this guy over here. Law says, I've been sick, still sick. Thank you for asking, how about you? Laws, I've been, I was sick, what was it, Monday and Tuesday? Now I'm still actually behind in schoolwork. You feeling better now? I know you said you're still sick, but is it getting better or about the same? Spiff says, what's your favorite expansion? I've been playing since Burning Crusade. Spiff, I think my favorite so far is definitely Legion. It's had the most content, had the most, you know, what do you want to call it? Just overall most content. There's a, you know, the raids have been continuously getting better. I think that's one thing Warcraft's done right, is the raids have been better every time, just about, regardless of the expansion. But the leveling's been good in Legion. I have enjoyed the grind. I have enjoyed the grind with the artifact weapon. That's been pretty good. What else do we have here? The pet battles. I haven't started that yet, but I'm working on it. But you know, just a ton of content and stuff that it's been needing to be applied to Warcraft has finally been applied in Legion. So that's kind of including the scaling zones. I have enjoyed that quite a bit. Whoops. Let's go ahead and not pull that with our face again. Try to get rid of them before this guy pops up. There we go. Perfect. I'm gonna go ahead and resummon Sam as soon as I get my soul shards back. Sean says, "What are you studying?" I'm in school to. Let's see. I think we're good here. Okay. Yeah, I'm in school to get a master's in mechanical engineering as well as project management. I've just kind of returned from the workforce, and kind of that's what's allowed me to do this on my in my spare time, more or less, is to stream whenever I'm not studying or working on improvements on the house. So but yeah, working on 2 masters at the moment, so this is going to be a 2-year venture at the very least. I have a feeling we'll be streaming for a lot longer amount of time, but at the very least I do want to stream the whole time that I'm doing my master's program. So hopefully you guys can see me graduate in 2 years. So with that, let's go ahead and pick this up and take back off. Now when all said and done, at the end of it, I should have a couple certifications as well. So it's in working after I got my bachelor's, I found out that despite being an engineer, you still don't know everything, which is which is not shocking to anyone. But you know, at the end of the day, you're kind of hoping that when you get your bachelor's, you have everything that you need to get into the workforce. But there's just guys that have the foresight of 10-15 years ahead of you, that just based on the knowledge that they had. And when it came to business, I realized that I did not have that skill set. So worked a good bit, saved up some funds, and then tried to invest in myself to some extent. Says graduation hype. Yes, ma'am. Try to get there eventually one day. Let's see. Like this. What will come first, your degree or beating the Ironman challenge? That's a really good question. Hopefully, I'm hoping to have, by the end of this, the Ironman challenging stream, to have 3, at least 3. 1, I want to get to 110 with the hunter. 2, I want to get to 110 with the melee, and then 3 will be the horde side. So I think we're going to do a horde on the Eastern Kingdoms, just to be able to say we've done it on both Kalimdor and Eastern Kingdoms. Adonis says, "Hello, good morning, Adonis. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing?" And if I get behind in chat, because as Law says, my answers tend to be long, don't feel bad in repeating the question or repeating the comment, obviously without spamming, but I will try to get caught back up with you as much as possible. I just I tend to be maybe more detailed than I need to be with my answers. Dominic says, "Not the Ironman challenge because you're questing." Dominic, it is the Ironman challenge. The Ironman challenge, you can quest or grind mobs. I think the challenge you're thinking of is the, what is it? The Bloodthirsty challenge. Bloodthirsty is you have a limit on your questing. I think with Bloodthirsty you can only do 210 quests, but with the Ironman you can do as many quests as you can get your hands on. And then Adonis says, "If anyone needs some lamps, I'm here for you." Oh, Adonis, I remember that. You said you were the lamp fan. "I will support your stream with lamps because you're more worth all the lamps." Oh, thank you, Adonis. I appreciate that. How's your morning going, by the way? trying to catch up. It says Eternal Guardian was Charles Kwan, not Simon. Oh, I get it. Okay, I got you. So the inside joke. I got you. Yeah, I did not have a reference to that. You know, one thing I have not done in probably, I don't know, a good 5, 6, maybe 7 years. Watch TV. I find that a lot of times watching TV is, you know, everyone can say anything's a waste of time, but I just hate the fact that so much of it is commercials. I don't know how it is in other parts of the world, you know, say Brazil or you guys in the UK, but in America, I don't know. I think if you watch say a 30-minute episode of anything, or even an hour-long episode, the commercials are so much, or you know, there's so many of them that I'd say out of an hour, you probably watch, I don't know, 35 minutes of the actual show, and then, you know, every time you go for a commercial break and you return, they have to recap the last 5 minutes of the previous series, previous section before the commercial. So, you know, as far as like decent continuous content, you probably have all of like 15 or 20 minutes out of after sitting and watching TV for an hour. It absolutely drives me insane. So the only time I watch TV is if we can find it on Netflix or what do you want to call it? Or if I go to my parents, they have some sort of recorder device and we'll just kind of fast forward through the commercials. Excuse me. Speaking of which, we've been watching The Office on Netflix, and that is pretty funny. Pretty awkward, but pretty funny series. Jordan says, there's adverts every 5 minutes. Okay, so you guys have the same burden we have then, which is unfortunate. Adona says, well, keep up the good work. I'm off to polish some lamps with my friend from Poland. Alright. Well, Adonis, thank you for stopping by. Let's see. We need one more of these things, I think. One or two more. One more. Usually we have to go on top of this hill to get that last one. Now Jordan says, haven't watched TV in 6 years except the old game. Except Game of Thrones. That's why I record on Sky. Yeah. The well, on HBO doesn't have commercials, do they? I guess maybe it might in the UK. Torchlight says same. Really rubbish ads that why box set binging has taken off. Yeah, pretty much. You know, it's kind of surprising, to be honest. You know, I think we can watch what, 2.5 episodes almost, if you just sit there on Netflix and go through it in the same amount of time that you would normally watch one episode with the commercials. And yeah, it blows my mind how much time that the stations allow for that. It used to be if you purchased cable, the whole idea of purchasing cable was to get around the fact that there were ads, but I think those days are long gone. Alright, so with that, we'll put this together, and that should be the quest there. So we're good there, and that is level 36. That's not bad. About 40 minutes into the stream, and we're level 36, so that's not bad at all. We'll go ahead and start working on these demons then. We are starting to reach the last leg of the questing series in Deathless. We have 45 of the 55 quests completed to get the achievement, so we're moving along pretty good, I think. Laws says, I don't have cable anymore, I only need the internet. Yeah, Laws, I'm kind of the same way. It's just, oh, we did get a new pet out of that. The amount of commercials is just absolutely astounding. And the TV kind of wonders why they're continuously losing people to the internet and the streaming process. Which probably means here in the near future we're going to see a mass migration of commercials and everything else coming to the you know, internet-based platforms. Jordan says, I use movie websites for movie series nowadays are free. Yeah, I think speaking of movies, Kingsman's come out this weekend, so I think we're actually gonna go out of our way and go see that in theaters. Let's go ahead and nuke this guy here. Patrick, good morning. How are you doing? Welcome back. Actually says, who's winning the challenge at the moment? I think it's pretty much only has the, what is it? The fastest level 60 time as well as the highest level at the moment. I think he's the only one that's above 80, and he's sitting pretty comfortably at level 80. Sorry, he's the only one above level 60, and he's sitting comfortably at level 82 or 83. So he's doing pretty good for himself. The rest of us are trying to get over our learning curve here, so this is my 4th attempt, for those who are wondering. Eric says hello, good morning, Eric. And Lois says 36 hype. Thank you, Lois. We did make it. Eric says about to run out of battery on phone. I'll be back when I get home. Alright, Eric, appreciate that. Meb85, thank you for the subscription. Good morning, how are you doing? We are working our way toward the demons over here in Desolus. I'm going to see if I can skip this guy here. Mom says without the internet we'd all be stuffed. Pretty much. Yeah, I'd definitely have to find a new set of hobbies, because I can't stand the amount of commercials that cable companies think we're going to sit there and watch. It says I've never pirated things online. I'm not a pirate. That is my disclaimer. You know, as much as possible, especially with say Game of Thrones, even if we can't contain, I think me and the girlfriend have been pretty good at not downloading Game of Thrones yet. But you know, even if say we did and it got the best of us, just kind of out of a, maybe for lack of better terms, out of respect, we would go ahead and buy the DVD anyway, just to give those guys that much support, because you know, at the end of the day, it's a business and that's what they're there for. So I do want to make sure season 8's going to come out. I haven't seen season 7 yet, but I heard season 8's going to take, what, 2 years to come out, so they're probably going to have quite a bit of content within, he disappeared, within that 8th series there. I think that's going to wrap it up though with the 8th series, if I've understood that correctly. I haven't read the books yet. I want to, but I haven't. It's one of those things where I haven't quite dedicated myself and allow the time to do that yet. So we need to kill 10 of these, as well as, what else? Take control of the demon. So I'm going to pull this guy over here, just so he doesn't get caught in the patrol path here. Excuse me. No, we don't need to mess with that one. I think we'll make our way in this direction. Jennifer says, went and saw Kingsman, Golden Circle. It was good. Was it, Jennifer? Okay. Alright. Yeah, the girlfriend's been wanting to see that for about a month now, so I think we're going to try to make our way out this weekend and see that. I'll let you guys know if it's any good. Torch says, I was thinking it was the History Channel that made all kind of mystery unwatchable ads and recaps over and over. Yeah, Torch, if the commercials aren't annoying enough, and I know we've been on a negative run here, but we just want to finish strong with that. But with if commercials haven't been enough, you know, let's say your commercials last 2-3 minutes and you've been watching the show for the past 15 minutes. So by this point, you know, you've been interrupted 3-4 times, and then every time they come back, you know, they repeat the last 2 minutes of the previous session. So by the time you've watched an hour-long show, you've only watched 25, 35 minutes of content, but you've actually watched it twice, because they've gone through and you know, repeated everything every time you get back from a commercial break. So I don't know. I wish they would provide more content, but you know, people still watch it, so I guess as long as people are still watching it, they're going to continue to do what they do. But that's why we don't watch TV. And then only says, I'm sitting at 83, not even logging in the character until October. Very nice, Only. Well, congrats on making it 83. I think you have this one in the bag pretty much. Said Learned my lesson from the hunter race when I died at 100. Oh, that's right. You did get the one up to 100. It says yeah, learn my lesson. Yeah, like I said, I think you're doing pretty well and you're safe. There's nobody I don't think there's anyone above level 60 at the moment, so I think you're good to go. Alright, so with this, we just want to make sure we're not in the path of any patrols here. This is should I say, this was a more dangerous quest back before Legion, but as of now, it's not as bad. I haven't had it bug out on me yet. The reason that it was considered semi-risky is that the demon's hit attack power and hit force was, sorry, armor and hit attack power. There we go. Armor and attack power was based on the gear you had, and since we have really no gear, it was rather weak demon. But I think since then it's been one of those things where it kills the other guy pretty easily for the most part. I'm gonna keep an eye on myself back there. Nothing's hitting me, so we're good. Alright, that's that. That demon despawns. We'll summon Sam back. Whenever, maybe if you're a hunter or a warlock, if you do that quest, it does despawn your current pet, so just kind of be aware of that. I'm gonna tag this guy before he despawns here. And Torch says next series will be the last one. Jeff says everything I've seen says the TV show is actually ahead of the books. Really? I didn't know that. Huh. I have to go ahead and dot this guy up. I have to look into that. I didn't know that the series was actually ahead though. That's rare. Alright, so we'll tag this one here. This thing will line of sight your attack, so you kind of have to move into the open. Yuri says, I don't like Game of Thrones. Really, Yuri? You're the first person I've heard say that. Why, that's interesting. Why do you not like it? Nerf says, the author has been consulted though. They may have an idea of what he was thinking. Well, I guess that would make sense though. I guess, as far as why it takes 2 years then. Maybe he hasn't developed that storyline as much. All I want at the end of the day for Game of Thrones is the Ice People to win. It doesn't matter what else happens throughout the storyline. As long as the Ice People win, we're good. I think that comes from being a Death Knight. Alright, so with that, let's go ahead and blow him up. Says Torch says a lot of money in advertising. There is, and it's surprisingly as common as it is, and as often as they do it. It's actually really expensive. Especially, obviously, you know, the more prime time or the closer to prime time you are, the more expensive it's going to be. But yeah, it's very expensive. I think we need to kill 5 more of these guys, so we might have to backtrack just a little bit. George says, reason being that he couldn't write as fast as making them, so they started turning out stories with him as a consultant. Oh, I didn't know that. That's neat. Oh, it says, oh, you're not a Game of Thrones fan, are you? No, I am. We'll wait toward the end of the season, and then we'll binge watch a whole season. But no, I'm a pretty big fan. I just haven't had a chance to read the books yet. Let's go ahead and open that up. I think that's the last portal. Nope, we need one more after this. And Jennifer says, I agree with Yuri. Actually, it's too popular, and I'm not a fan of things that are over-popularized and over-commercialized. Honestly, I just kind of stick with it for the story. I don't get into the what do you want to call it? Like you said, the commercialization of it. I just enjoy it for. I think he despawned before you hit him. That's too bad. Okay, let's see if we can hit this guy. For these, you want to start out with your instant spell, just so that they don't do that, and despawn before your 3-second cast spell has time to hit them. He says, I don't know, I tried 3 times and watched 2 seasons. I guess, I don't know. What do you want to call it? There's a ton of characters and they go through them pretty quick. But, I don't know. I kind of like it. It breaks the normal storyline, I guess, of, you know, a lot of the books you've read where one character stays alive throughout the whole series. And the main character does seem to switch quite often. Let's go ahead and dot this guy. There we go. Oh, we did get both. Alright, so I'm going to blow up the Doom Warder, just so we don't have to deal with him. He does hit pretty hard, though. So we'll get our health back up. Walkman says, I've never been able to get to the series. Really? You guys are coming out of the woodworks today. I thought everybody liked Game of Thrones. Man, I feel like I'm in the minority now. Alright, so let's see. We need one more of these Infernos, and I think one more gate destroyed. Only so I haven't watched Red Game of Thrones. I've gotten a kick out of hearing about G-Mon kills off characters. He's been doing that for decades. Yeah, like I said, I haven't read any of his books, and that includes Game of Thrones. But I have enjoyed the story arc in the sense that everybody just kind of dies off. Let's see. I think we can get rid of this one. It doesn't count, even if you click on the, what do you want to call it, the little portal here, it doesn't count as a closed portal until you kill the demon. So just don't forget to do that. I think once or twice I've clicked on the portals and then ran away, only to find out that nothing really happened. John says, did you hear that Hugh? I did. I saw that this morning. How old was he? That's kind of sad. Maul says, I have yet to watch it myself. Lols, you don't know what you're missing. It's good stuff. They did have to do one character switch. I want to say one of the guys, one of the characters from the story, they had to have 2 actors for, because I want to say one either was working on another project or he wanted too much from Game of Thrones to continue the second season, and then they just kind of got rid of him. But no, overall it's been really good. Grace says you're not the minority here, Kuhn. Most do like Game of Thrones. Alright, I'm just checking. And Blake says watched it twice. Oops. There we go. We can loot that now. Oh, we got a large knapsack. Very nice. Yeah, Blank, I think for the most part I could say I've kind of watched it twice because, you know, like I said, what we'll do is we'll wait until the Blu-ray or DVD comes out and we'll watch it there. But in preparation for that, you know, there's what, a year in between seasons, so we'll watch the second half of the previous season before we get into the new season, just so we can learn of all the characters' names once again and who's died and where the story picks up. Because one thing that is nice about Game of Thrones is that they don't have a backtrack feature, so it's all new content, and so to speak. So that is the nice thing about it. Alright, so let's see. I'm way behind chat here. So if I miss a comment or something you're trying to talk to me directly about, like I said, don't feel bad in repeating it. I'm going to try to catch back up. Jennifer says, I admit not liking Star Trek, Star Wars as well. Same reason not liking Game of Thrones. Really? Now, I have to say, I'm more of a fan of Game of Thrones than Star Wars or Star Trek. And I don't think I've seen Rogue One yet. I don't know if there's been one since Rogue One, but I am a little bit out of the loop. Generally speaking, I kind of go into watching movies in phases. Like I'll watch. We'll go to the theater. Say for example, The Kingsman. We'll probably go this weekend and watch that, and then I probably won't see another movie for 2 or 3 months. I don't know why I do that. I just do. Maul says I love Star Trek. You know, I was which one did I watch? Voyager. I watched Voyager pretty religiously in the past, and I don't think I actually ever saw the ending. I heard the ending was kind of sad, but didn't actually see the ending of Voyager. But I did watch that one pretty religiously. Almost revolts against Jennifer. That's funny. Jordan says, "Oh, my other family adores Star Trek." Now, how's the new one that just came out? Is it pretty good? Have you guys seen that yet? Because that one we might have to break down and start watching here pretty soon. Alright, so for this quest, we're going to build up our soul shards for. This quest can be dangerous if these guys start building up, and that's going to make more sense here in a second. So I'm going to probably get a little bit further behind in chat. So if I do, I apologize, but this is one of those quests where if you get too far behind and you aggro, aggro them incorrectly, they can aggravate each other, and then you're dealing with 2 or 3 at once. So we'll drop this down and then open up with a chaos bolt here. Alright, so we're good there, and we can open up with another chaos bolt. As long as you can get into combat, get into combat with them before they aggro each other or turn aggressive like they are now. It's a pretty simple quest. Like I said, that can backfire and, what do you want to call it, build up on you pretty quick. So that guy right there, we'll see if we can knock him out. I'm going to start backing up a little bit just because once they turn aggressive, it can get kind of messy. We're down to about 40% mana, so we need 3 more. So a lot of times if you have more than one like this that's aggressive, you want to open up with a chaos bolt if you have it. That being is that your chaos bolt kind of, alright, we just pulled him. Your chaos bolt typically hits it for about 80-90%, so it's one of those things where you want to go ahead and kill one as fast as you can before aggroing the other one. If we can get this guy close to us, we should be set. Normally, and previously, I've avoided this quest just because. Oops, let's go ahead and drain his health. It's an orange quest, but it's not as bad as I thought it would be. And most of my hunters and all of my warlocks we've knocked out, so I haven't had too much of an issue with it. Crim's Glade. I have no idea. That is not where our Hearthstone's at. Alright, so Carnome's Glade. That's interesting. I thought we set our Hearthstone yesterday, but if we didn't, we'll just run it back. No big deal. Law says, I cried at the end of Rogue One. Oh, man. Alright, so I'm going to have to be ready for my sad ending then on Rogue One. Walkman says, I haven't seen the new Kingsman movie. I wish they had some Aussie Kingsman. That would be awesome. That would be. It has a pretty good ring to it, Walkman. That's funny. Yeah. What do you want to call it? Outback Kingsman. Rio says, oh man, Kingsman's so good. Walkman. You know, Rio, you're probably about the 4th or 5th person I've heard in chat, and then maybe the 2nd or 3rd in real life I've heard nothing but good things for Kingsman. So I haven't seen the first one, so I'm gonna try to watch the first one tomorrow afternoon, and then maybe we'll go see the one in theaters Saturday, hopefully, maybe Saturday. So that's my plans. Well, says, I haven't seen the new Star Trek, but I think the timeline is before the original. Is it really? Oh, wow. Seems like they keep going farther and farther back. Maybe one day they'll have, like, Star Trek Earth. And it's just us building the spaceship. Let's see. Maybe NASA and SpaceX merge or something. Let's go ahead and turn in these 2 quests. I want to say we get a follow-up down here, but it may be dependent on turning in these 2 quests. I'm not sure. It says the end of our rogue, rogue one pissed me off. Oh man, I'm gonna have to get ready for that one. Law says King would make a great Kingsman. Oh man, I have no idea what that means, Laws. Now I'm gonna have to really. I'm gonna remember that. And I'm gonna watch the what do you want to call it? The original one. I think we have it here. Believe it or not. Girlfriend's watched it. I haven't. And then we'll watch the one, like I said, in theaters on Saturday. So that's interesting. Alright, so with that, let's turn these in. I want to say we have follow-ups to... Yes. We have to kill a guy that has the knapsack, as well as kill the lobsters in the surrounding location. So usually this quest is pretty straightforward, and usually the lobster tails aren't a 100% drop rate, but for the most part it seems like we can get all the lobster tails we need in one run. So we'll just kind of systematically grind our way around here. You do want to be careful, as always. The what do we call it? This is a horde camp, so you have a little bit of a warning right here. There's no guards in this location. I think the guards are after the second or third banner, so they do give you a little bit of heads up. So just kind of be careful in the area. Jordan says, whip thingy. And now Minch says, hi Q, what's going on, Minch? Good morning. Welcome back. I haven't seen you this week, I don't think. How are you doing? How's the hunter treating you? And Torch says, first one was surprisingly amusing, Kingsman. Abrams' reboot of Star Trek was awesome. Alright, well, I have a ton of content I need to watch here, evidently. I have all the Game of Thrones, I have the Kingsmen, both of them, and then I have Star Trek, so maybe we'll go on a binge this weekend. I still trying to keep up with The Office, even though it ended 5 years ago. Was it 5 years ago? Minch says not good. Oh man, Minch died again at level 43 and 1,000 needles. Oh, that's rough. So what, Minch? But you made it to the 40s. Congrats on making it to the 40s. That's not bad. You're getting there. What yeah, what got you in 1,000 needles? I've nearly died a bunch of times in 1,000 needles. I did die due to the rare. I'm just gonna have to be careful of the ships, I think. Ships are a good way. I think that's what killed Jessica from Tank and Spank, if I remember that. Alright, so with that, we'll blow up this guy just so we can kind of keep the path as circular as possible here. Okay, so that's just a curse, a 10-minute curse. Excuse me. Progressive says, have you seen Dexter Kuhn? I have not. I've heard mixed reviews. Like, people either really like it or they just absolutely cannot get into that one. I think a friend let me borrow the first season one time, but I couldn't quite ever break away to be able to sit down and watch it. I probably have it sitting around the house, actually. Excuse me. Alright, so with that, let's go ahead and see if we can find this guy. Usually he's stealth. There he is. And this guy does have a 100% drop rate, so you just have to kill him once. But with that, we still need 3 more of the lobster tails. I need to catch back up. And Progressive says, so you did like it, Progressive. From what I'm understanding, it's more of what do you want to call it? A vigilante justice kind of thing, where some people have am I understanding that right? Where it's like some people do really bad things and then escape the law, and then he kind of comes in and cleans things up. Which one says, what a nice name, Minge. And with that, let's go ahead and knock this guy up. Minge says, elite ogres in the cave where you throw money at them, but they got me on the way out. Oh man, that's rough. Yeah, those elite ogres, they hit like trucks. It's just one of those things where those guys, they might hit harder than they maybe should. But you know, I do remember the first time I did that quest. You're supposed to, for those who aren't familiar, there's a quest in Thousand Needles where you're supposed to go to get to the back of the cave to kill a main guy. But all throughout the cave are elite ogres, and you throw coins at them to bribe them. And if you know, if you're like me and you don't read your quests, you just go in there with guns blazing. And I think we had tried to kill the first one, and it took us a good 2 minutes of running around. And then, you know, we figured out that you have to throw the coins at them to bribe them, whatever. But yeah, those guys have a ton of health and they hit like trucks. It says, in a PvP raid group at the moment, Q. I'm still listening to your stream in the background. I'm still with you. Alright, Walkman, appreciate that. Good luck with the PvP. I still need to work my way up to Prestige 21. I think I'm all at about 7. So maybe if there's a content drought at the end of this expansion, we'll be able to catch up on a good amount of the content. At least get all the rewards associated with it. So that's 6 or 7. We do want to be a little careful. Like I said, the horde base is right there in the corner. So if I don't want to get too close to that banner, the guards are going to start being a danger to some extent. Well, it says, yep, I keep buying the gold bribe because you need to be able to throw the gold bribes on the way out, which is what we do. And the quest click on the right hand side disappears on the way out, even though you still have it. Oh, it does really? I didn't remember that. Usually for me, I try to put my quest items on my toolbar. So yeah, well, that's something you want to keep on your toolbar as much as possible. But Minge, are you let's see. Minge says, I've watched your 4th attempt video and you never even met them on the way out. Yeah, for those caves, I do try to, in caves and other enclosures in general, I try to speed through those as much as possible. The respawn rate's pretty quick. But yeah, you have to just watch out for those guys. Are you going to give it another go, Minge? Are you going to give it a little bit of break? Alright, so these guys are friendly. We're just trying to get the last couple of lobsters here without killing ourselves due to a faction pull. Milk2K says, good morning, Q. Good to see you back. Oh, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Good to see you as well. How's your week going? We are almost all the way through the week now. I'm thinking about it. It feels like a short week just because we started streaming for the week. What was it? Yesterday? So it's been a long week, but also a short week to some extent. Alright, so with that, we still need one more lobster tail here. Torchlight says, Dexter was incredible for oh my god, moments. Really? Like I said, I've heard mixed reviews on it, so we might have to add that to the ever-growing list of things I need to watch. At least we don't have to watch it on TV at this point in time. Alright, so with that, we'll go ahead and turn in these 2 quests, and I think we can head in this direction now, once we turn these 2 in. Here says, I'm sitting at Brewfest waiting for the high tinker to show up. Supposedly he comes at 6:15 in the morning and evening, tapping for the keg. Never been there, so... Oh, that's neat. No, I've never done that, actually. Yeah, me and the girlfriend, we were trying to figure out when or how we could get the transmog items to become account bound, but, you know, just like we were talking about yesterday, I think that's really unfortunate that a lot of your transmog items aren't available all across the board. Because just honestly, there's just no reason. There's no way I'm going to spend that much time grinding them for all my characters, or you know, save my main and my ults and all that. So hopefully in the future they'll fix that and allow the you know, the holiday transmog gear to be account bound across all characters. Alright, so with that... Oh, this is Carnage Fate. Oh well, we'll just fly. We'll save the Hearthstone in case we get far away again. And there says, I got my dress, very nice. I got my gnome looks cute in it. Very nice, Jennifer. Congrats on that. Mitch says, I'm going again. I'm level 29. Oh, that was quick. Congrats on all those levels there, Minge. Level 29 again in Stone Talon Mountain. Stone Talon's Mountains, and hi, Jennifer. Well, you're starting to get a lot faster at it, Minge. Because I think earlier it was taking you a little bit longer to get up to that level, but if you're already 29, that's not bad at all. Alright, so with that, we'll land here. I think we do have a quest here. Okay. I was going to say, we have a quest here, and then the one for the Kodo skulls is north of us. But I think this quest is going to have us bomb the Naga and the little giants that run with them. So we'll see if that's actually the case or not. Yep, it is. Okay, perfect. So we'll jump on this and off we go. For those that may be new to the channel, since we're flying, I'll go ahead and put the rules up just so we have those available. If you want more details as far as the Ironman challenge and to the more rules that are, kind of come along in later expansions, there is a link in the description. And then, we have a Discord, which is also linked in the description. So feel free to stop by that anytime. I think there's someone farming these things. That's interesting. I've never seen that. Alright, so with that, for this quest, there's only a handful of giants. So when you see them, you want to kind of prioritize those guys first. You have to kill 3, and I think you might have access to maybe 4 or 5. So you don't want to miss too many of those guys. So kind of keep an idea for that one. And there we go. So see if we can time this right. There we go. Then we'll blow him up and hopefully get this guy as well. Try to, I wouldn't say lead him too much, but you do want to kind of head him off a little bit just because it takes a while for that thing to land on the ground. Alright, so with that, that is 3 there, and we need 2 more sirens. I think these guys are it, right? Yeah. The lighter Naga. And that should be 10, and we're good to go. We'll fly home. And then Minge says, yeah, no, the low level is off by heart now. I know the feeling, Minge. Like I said, for those that are new, this is my 9th attempt. My 5th attempt still alive. Since we are at level 36, close to 37, once the month ends, if we haven't died and the month ends, we're going to continue with the lock up until either we hit 110 or we die, and then we'll switch back to the hunter in October. But just kind of purely my opinion, I think it would be a waste to have a warlock at, say, level close to 40, if not 40, and then switch back to a hunter just because the month changed. So since we are at a higher level than the hunter currently is, we'll just kind of finish off and get as far as we can. So let's go ahead and turn this quest in real quick. Vi says, hi King in chat. What's going on, Vi? Good morning. How you doing? Welcome back. How's your week been? George says hi, and then Min says, I'm on a hunter number 10 now. Well, very nice. You're getting up into those numbers I'm at the moment. Alright, so this guy's kind of blocking the path. I've never seen him here before, and he did see us. So I think what we'll do is we'll just try to outrun him. Those guys can hit pretty hard, so I don't want to have to mess with that too much, so we're just going to outrun them for a second. There we go. The enraged Kodos don't follow you too far, so it's not a big deal to outrun those guys. Alright, so with that, we'll turn in that quest. That's done. And then we'll turn in the Bones quest here and head out west. And this last leg of the quest in Desolus does have an element of danger to it, so you want to be careful and how you approach it. And we'll talk about more about that as we get closer. But a lot of your end of the zone type quests are more or less your ones that have a higher probability of killing your Ironman. So just kind of be careful once you start to see that you're getting toward the end of the questing in a zone. You start to come across those mobs that have one-shot mechanics that'll hit you for all of your health, or have some sort of reset mechanic. So with that, let's go ahead and turn this in and catch back up. Gary says, hey guys, what's going on, Gary? Welcome back. How's your week going? I have to say week now, just because I haven't seen some people since last Saturday, I believe. And let me take those rules down since we have landed. There we go. I says, hi Gary, and Mark says, hi, what add-on do you use for your character window? For these nameplates right here, this is Z-Pro. And then for the nameplates up here, that's Tidy Plates. For those who are curious about the rest of the UI add-ons, the massive buttons here is Bartender, and then the square map is Sexy Maps. All those are linked in. All those add-ons are linked in the description, so you guys are more than welcome to check those out. I might have to see if there's. I wonder if there's a way I can set up the preset so that I know a lot of people kind of like the setup that I have here as far as the layout. If there's a way I can put that in a manner where it's easily downloadable with the preset I have, I'll work on doing that for you. But I don't know if there's a way for me to do that, to be honest. That is level 37, so almost an hour and a half in, and we're 2 levels, so that's not bad. At least we'll have knocked out one of the goals in knocking out Deathless for today. So at this point in time, it's just a matter of running over there, knocking out the 2 quests, and getting the heck out of Deathless. Feraless isn't too bad. Feraless is a little bit slow going at first, just because a lot of the quests that you're doing are 1 or 2 at a time. But toward the end, you're starting to do 3 or 4, and sometimes 5 quests at a time. So the leveling process speeds up quite a bit. However, in Deathless, yeah, you're doing 1 or 2 about the whole way through. So it's not a big deal. It's just it's not good. It's not a good racing zone. We'll put it that way. Try to avoid this guy as well. I don't think we have any new spells for hitting 37. No, we're pretty much set on that. So with this, let's try to see if we can get back on the road. For the most part, your roads are where you want to stay. As far as, you know, traveling, it's the highest probability of having the lowest chance of seeing a mob, which is probably more words than necessary to describe that. But that's true for most of Azeroth. But once you start getting into, say, Northrend and maybe Outland, you know, you start coming across your patrols that walk along the roadway, and they can make a normal situation pretty dangerous fairly quickly. The first one that comes to mind is the Blood Elf mage that walks around in Outland. He can, if he sees you, whether you're a Horde or Alliance, and attacks you, you will be flagged for PvP, and that's just not a good position to be in. It'll do it whether or not you're on a PvP realm or PvE, so there is that. Jennifer's on the road again. Just can't wait to get on the road again. Very nice, Jennifer. Let's see. We need to kill the princess, so we need to hop on this guy. This quest isn't too bad. You want to engage these guys before they kill the mob that's tanking them. Our mob's going to die too quickly, so we're going to back off. And we're going to go commando form through the little creek here. Alright, so with that, for the Doom Guards, okay, so yeah, that's what we were wanting to talk about. The this quest can be very dangerous, so just kind of be careful in doing this and pulling these mobs. The Burning Blade Warlocks, they're not going to do too much. They're not all that exciting. They die relatively quickly, as well as their pets do. But the Doom Guards, you don't want to engage these guys when they're not fighting a mob. And preferably, you do want to, if they are fighting a mob, you kind of want to wait until they cast I think it's Hellfire? I think that's what it's called. We'll see here in a second. But while they're casting Hellfire, they're kind of stuck in that position. They can't chase you or anything like that, so it just gives you the opportunity to not get run down by the Doom Guards. In addition, if it's not rough enough in trying to kill these guys while they're in combat, the Warlocks spawn very quickly in this area, so it's just one of those things where you're trying to move through as quickly as possible. So there we go, Rain of Fire. So at this point in time, we just wanted to probably start this attack a little bit late, and yeah, you don't want them to spend too much time chasing us down. There we go. So we have the priestess there. What we're going to do is try to clear out everything in this location and let her make her way back. Reason being is that we just don't want to pull her along with any of these other mobs. These guys do die relatively quickly, so just want to be careful for that for as much as possible. Alright, so with that we're good. I think these two are fighting, so we'll kind of clear out this whole little pathway here. And let's see. Alright, so with that, that's interesting. I've never had that happen before, where I've actually run out of guys. I've had one have that guy bugged out, it looks like. And also, when you call for reinforcements, you don't get any. So that's really interesting. I've never had them die like that on me. So with that being said, this might take a little bit longer than we initially anticipated. You don't want to fight these guys without your backup, and it's kind of surprising that we don't have any. We're not getting any backups when we call these guys. Yeah, we're not getting anything. So I think what we need to do is run all the way back, dismount, and then when we mount back up on them, we should get the guys we need. So that's the first time that's happened to me. But like I said, you don't want to take the priestess or the Doom Guards on by themselves. The Warlock's not too big of a deal, I don't think. But the little guys right here can be a pain. That time, the pet despawned, so that's kind of nice. And let's see. That one despawned as well. Okay. So with that, let's sneak back across. Someone gotta be careful. I know those guys never died on me before. I'm kind of surprised. What I'm kind of curious, but not curious enough to find out, is that if our centaur here dies, do we die as well, or do we just hop off and make a run for it? Like I said, I'm not too keen on finding that out myself. Alright, so with that, there we go, we got our guys back. Okay. So the bad thing in doing that is maybe in between pulls I didn't give them enough time to heal themselves. Like I said though, it's never happened before, and I think we've given them the same amount of time beforehand, but either way, we'll just be careful as much as possible. But yeah, the Warlock's already responded. Oh, good grief. Okay. So yeah, we're going to... The bad thing with this as well is that if the demon's not chasing you, he's still killing and putting significant damage on your guys here. So I'm just curious if she's healing them, if they all get healed. No, I think she's only healing me. So good news is we have all the Doombringers we need down. Bad news is at the expense of our own health. So with that, we need to maybe... I wonder if we can go in from this angle, because we don't need to kill the Doom Guards on the other side now. So let's actually try it from this angle. The good thing about the priestess is that you can outrun her to a certain extent. And there she is. However, let's see. These guys slowly regenerate their health, so we're just kind of giving them time to do that. And I do mean slowly, so we don't want both of those on us. Let's see. I think what we'll do, maybe pull from this direction. The respawns for these warlocks is so quick that we're definitely going to run into them again. And I'm wondering if maybe they stood in fire. Maybe that's why we had such a close call. I want to go ahead and take this guy down. Since he does have Rain of Fire cast, they don't respawn as quickly, but it's still quick by most standards. We did put our guys right back in that Rain of Fire. Their health bar is okay for the most part. And I cannot run up the hill. There we go. So at this point in time, I'm going to wait for this Warlock to get a little bit closer. We'll pull her. And then we will pull the Priestess. And hope for the best, I guess. Alright. So he hasn't seen us yet. These guys are about at full health. I'm going to go ahead and kill this guy though, just so that if we have to run in that direction, we're not worried about respawns like this right here. Alright, so with that, our health is semi-decent, not great, but at this point in time we just need to pull her before she gets tied up in more mobs. So at this point, oh, you know what? That Doomguard just spawned on us. So we're going to keep running here. Throw another spear and there we go. Alright, so with that done, we're almost done with this part of Desolus. It's just a matter of turning this in and finishing up. And I think we have to go further west and kill the named demon at the end. Rio says, oh my god, that's a fast respawn. It is. It's if it was any faster, I think it'd be almost impossible to deal with, but these guys do kind of 1- and 2-shot these mobs, so that does make it manageable. It's just if you pull a Doomguard on accident, it's going to be pretty hard to survive that plus a Warlock or two, or especially the Priestess. But yeah, the respawn's a little ridiculous. Alright, so these guys have all full health except for that one. We should be alright. So we're going to take a different path into the back of the camp here. Huh. Usually the little guy despawns. So with that, the Warlocks aren't, like I said, too big of a deal. It's just a matter of timing it right so we get up to the Doomguard while he's still... Alright, so the Centaur, we're going to start with the Doomguard. There is a Warlock also there, but since our little friend here is at 75%, we'll start with him first. And then we'll switch to the Warlock. There we go. So, unfortunately, the quest is maybe it's bugged out in the sense that we can't get any more reinforcements. But it also kind of sucks in the sense that the healing aspect of it. Let's see. The healing aspect of it only heals us. It doesn't necessarily heal the your little camp of our pack of centaurs, should I say? Right, so with that, keep plowing through here. There's the Warlock. I'm hoping. You know what? I wonder if standing in the fire is killing these guys. I think it does, actually. So I'm going to have to be careful of that. Alright, so with this, at this point in time, as long as we don't pull Doomguard in this location, we should be alright for the most part. Like I said, if we do lose a guy over here, we don't really have a chance to make it back up unless we go back out and remount. And these guys did take a closer path than I would have liked. Alright, so we're good there. Sneak through here. Also, this whole thing is kind of timed in the sense that if you wait too long for them to patrol in just the right location, you could be in a situation where you have an ad or two respawn on top of you. So it's one of those quests where there's a underlying timer without the actual clock. So with that, we should be good here. Just get at max range, that way they don't really attack you until that first spear's hit them. And sometimes you can, if you're at max range, you can throw 2 spears before the first one hits them, so it doesn't give them a chance to pull off a single cast. Rio says, oh, also a nice proper good morning to you. Chat was flying by when I joined. Oh, well, good morning then, Rio. Sorry I missed that as well. How is your morning going, by the way? Alright, so with that, let's go ahead and engage this guy. He's not too bad, just because you get a bunch of backup coming right here, and you know, they taunt him and keep him, so you just sit there and throw the spear until it's all done. That should be rain of fire actually hits him pretty hard, but with that we're good. Turn in this quest real quick. I don't know if we get a follow-up. I don't think we do. Yeah, we do. This guy. See if we can grab this real quick. Draw to Fearless. Alright, we can do that. So with that, we're going to pop off here and use our Hearthstone and then run Fearless. And we are officially done with Deathless now. Now and finally, right? But we are about, I'd say about a third into level 37. So with that, let's go ahead and... Oh, that's interesting. Do have a horde here. Not even going to click on them. As per normal, we'll go ahead and clear out our bags, set aside all the stuff that is bind on equip. Oh, we got cloth shoulders. Did they match? They do not. That's unfortunate. Alright, so with that, still don't have the heart to sell them though, so we'll set those aside. That's a green cloak. For those that are unaware, for no reason in particular, we're just trying to get a red transmog for this Warlock. But like I said, there's no reason in particular we're doing it. Just other than to have a red Warlock, I guess. Alright, so with that, everything else is good. I think I can get rid of this. I've been carrying this around since Told You So, I believe. So I'm going to set that aside. And we'll put our shoulders there just for in case we need more armor. All 6 of it, I think. Alright, so with that, we're good here. And I think they don't really give us a flight path, so we're just going to run south and take off from there. Rio says, it's going great, man. Fed, hydrated. How about you? Not bad. I think breakfast is in about an hour and a half, so after that it's homework, so I'll be doing that. For those that may not be aware, if in my description I always have my schedule, and it's more or less, I'd say 99% of the time it is up to date. So that being said, we are off tomorrow. I do have some real life events going on and need to take care of that early in the morning, but we will be back Saturday, and Saturday will be the last day of the race. I'm hoping, I'll talk to Keithy. Hopefully we'll have a list of the Warlock winners, I guess, for this month, and just kind of go from there. But yeah, we will be off tomorrow just for the sake of clarity, in case anyone was expecting me to be on. Normally, it's, for those that are, like I said, new to the stream, normally it's a stream from 6 to 9 every day, except for Sundays and every other Tuesday. And oh, you know what? I could have flown this last part. That's okay. But anyway, it's we do stream from 6 to 9 at the very least, and then I don't know. I think we might kind of keep this at 3 hours, and then maybe consider an afternoon stream, or either we'll keep it in the mornings and then keep all the streams in the mornings and then do sometimes extended streams. But to do extended and afternoon streams is a pretty much just by the 1 week that I did do it is I don't think something my schedule can handle. We are getting into the point this semester where I'm getting a significant amount of homework, so that and maintaining the house and the yard and everything, just not something feasible for me at this time. Maybe in the future we can work something out, but at this time not so much. But at the very least we'll still maintain those 3 hours. Mama says don't leave us, Q. We won't. We just have like I said, we'll be back on Saturday, and hopefully I try to talk to Keithy. Hopefully I'll be able to kind of announce who's getting what prizes, but I think Keithy's been working on that list here recently, so we'll keep up with it. And then maybe I'm hoping by early next month, if not mid next month, I'll give you guys an update as far as when we'll do the next Ironman race, Ironman challenge race. It looks like it's going to be Paladins. I'm thinking a lot of people are wanting Paladins. It was between Druids, Hunters, and Paladins, but Paladins gives everybody a plate option. It also gives everybody the option of bubble hearthing if you need to. Let's see, what else does it do? You can do all 3 specs. The only benefit in doing a Druid would be the fact that you could have all 3 specs, but one of your DPS specs could be ranged, so if you prefer the ranged, we could have done it that way, but maybe we'll do Paladins next time. I think, or sorry, not Paladins. I think maybe we'll do Druids next time, and we'll try to do Paladins toward the end of the year. Law says, I'm a Paladin, so yes. Very nice, Law. I think I have a 1 or 2 110 Paladins, but haven't played them hardly at all, so. Jeff says, not a fan of Paladins, but it is what it is. Yeah, if you're not, I think in the future we will do Druids at one point in time, but it looks like Paladins might be it for toward the end of this year, should I say. Excuse me. Alright, so with that, let's go ahead and I think there's a Hearthstone or a innkeeper here we can set a Hearthstone at. I think there is. There is a flight path, so we'll grab that. And let's see. I think our innkeeper is, yeah, right there. So we'll turn in that real quick. Make this in our home. And the good thing about Fairless is it does have a decent amount of rares here. The bad thing about the rares in this location is that they have a decent, what do you want to call it, spawn timer. So, you know, if we do kill them, it's pretty much going to be a one-time deal. It's not something we could sit there and farm like we've done previously. So, that being said, we'll see if we can work our way to our first rare while we kill the stags. There we go. I couldn't remember if it was the stags or the owls, but the stags. It says, personally I enjoy a paladin. Or playing my Resto Shaman more. Yeah, you know, I was going to say, I thought you were going to mention a paladin, and I read somewhere at one point in time that people who play paladins enjoy their class more than people who play any other class. I think that was on Wowhead at one point, but how they came across in figuring how much someone enjoys a class, I'm not quite sure, but that was something that they had. I think that was back in Warlords of Draenor. So with that, let's go ahead and knock this guy out. But I think people who play paladins tend to play the paladin for keep it as their main for a long amount of time. Maybe that's how they did it. George says, can someone tell me if there's a Portal of Hellfire and Ironforge? You know, I don't know if there is.
Yes.
In Ironforge?
In Stormwind.
Oh.
And I mean, I'm not in, I mean in the Hall of Mystics.
I think it's in the Hall of Mystics, Jennifer. Maybe. Alright, so with that, let's go ahead and finish up this quest. We need 6 more of the infected antlers. Everyone says, as a dwarf, I should know this. Very nice. This is actually the first dwarf I've ever leveled. In my 10 plus years of playing, I've never leveled a dwarf until this past week. Chris says there's 1, 2 Badlands somewhere in Ironforge. Yeah, I think Hall of Mystics, I think. Alright, so we need 4 more at this point in time. And Jennifer says, I have to look. Thank you, Lady Q. And let's see. Yeah, I think Lady Q used to actually main a dwarf, right? Dwarf priest? Dwarf priest. Oh, that's right, because they had the fear ward. And Maul says, oh, the Hall of Mystics. Yeah, that's I kind of miss the days when Ironforge was the central hub. I think Stormwind's been that hub for so long that a lot of people really never go to Ironforge other than maybe to turn in a quest or maybe some sort of profession vendor or something. But I think your heirloom vendors in Ironforge. Jennifer says, yep, found it, thank you. Lady Kim says, you're welcome. Not a problem. Alright, so with that, let's go ahead and... oh, there's our rare. So we'll kill him here in a second. Actually, we probably should kill him now, just in case we have a high level come in and swoop in on him. We'll open up with a Chaos Bolt. And try to get a little bit closer. He did cast something at me, but nothing exciting. Alright, so that's not bad. We did get about 3k experience. Like I said, the rares at this level aren't worth chasing down too much for XP alone. If you are kind of wanting to kill a rare, it's more so or more often for when you need gold from the BOEs. But for the most part, we only got about 3k XP from the guy, so alright, so that's 6 of 8 there. I want to say there's more stags in the direction we need to go anyway, so we'll make our way that way. Rio says, alright man, I'll be off. Good luck this morning. Enjoy your day off tomorrow. Take care. Alright Rio, you take care as well. I'll see you hopefully on Saturday. We'll pick up from there. Hopefully today we can get fairly close to level 40. If not, we'll see how close we are to level 40, but I would like to try to get the mount and all the running around to get the mount off stream as much as possible. That way there's not a good 20 minutes of content just flying back and forth from Darnassus. Alright, so with that, we'll turn that in a little bit later. We're going to make a full circle here and see if we can get not only the other rare, but kill the harpies in that small corner. I know there's a horde outpost. I think it is a faction camp. We don't have any reason to go into it and investigate it or kill anything there, so generally speaking, I just try to stay as far away from that thing as possible. I don't know if there's any guards there or not, and really have no intent in trying to figure that out. So let's see. Let's go ahead and mark that. That way we don't have to keep our map open. We'll have to come back and kill these guys sooner or later, but for now it's just running through them and killing the harpies. Like I said, the rare typically runs through this area. More often than not, I see it in the northern area of this map, but I think it does have a pretty wide patrol path, so we'll make a pass through and see if it pops up. There it is. Alright, that's not bad. So we're not in combat with anything, so we can go ahead and light this guy up. He is at max range. He might fear, but I know as soon as he applies damage, Sam will come in and taunt him, so I'm not too worried about him. Especially since he died before I finished explaining his mechanic. Then we need to kill 6 of these guys, so 12 harpies total, I believe. Yeah, I think we have to kill the melee guys and the casters, and then summon the named one after that. My skin says, "IQ, nice to see you persevering." Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. We're not doing too bad today. I think I have all of. Actually, let's do that just as a checkpoint. Halfway through level 37, we have about 12 hours on the character, so that's not too bad. Nothing compared to, I think, Xantric, who had 14 hours, almost 15 hours at level 54. But yeah, I'm gonna have to watch his streams and see exactly how he did that, because that's flying. That's doing pretty good. I think for the most part, since it's come down to the fact that we definitely won't make it to 60 before the end of the month. It's more of kind of going back to our old style of leveling, just making sure we're pulling stuff carefully and being as thorough as possible. I would prefer to get this guy up to 110, especially since he's higher than 100 at the moment, so kind of see if we can revert to our old habits rather than some of the new ones that we've acquired in pulling and running and making a mess of the area. More things as you're a dwarf, you have to go to Ambersteel Ranch for your mountains. No, Moist Games. So these days in Warcraft, you can go to any major city and pick up your training there. Let me see if there's any exception to that. I don't think so. I think if you're any race, you know, for example, if I was a gnome, I think I did actually get my training in Darnassus, and I did the same as a human, so I'm expecting as a dwarf I should be able to go to Darnassus for mount training and at least be able to get the level 40 riding. Normally I get my flying from Hellfire Peninsula, but I should be able to get my level 40 riding in Darnassus. Should be. So we need 3 more of some and 2 more of the others. I think there's more of the wind callers than anything else here, but that's not too bad. It's still XP at the end of the day, so killing an extra 2 or 3 definitely won't hurt us. And then I'm kind of looking forward to when we get back on the hunter and being able to reassess if it's easy or not, because you know, going from the hunter to the warlock was just a change of pace, but sometimes you know, you don't notice the difference if you're going from something let's say from the hunter to the warlock, especially if you know, if you consider the warlock more difficult. So in going back to the hunter, it might make things a little bit more clear if it's actually easier or not. That being said though, I think we're closing in on the named mob. Oh, it's way up there, up north. Okay, we're good. I thought for a second I was going the wrong direction, but no, we're good. And we need we're good on the wind callers, we just need the normal harpies, but let's see if we can move in this direction. That's interesting. We could cast, but we couldn't finish the cast due to line of sight. Okay. Actually, there's our harpy. Well, we'll go ahead and kill that one. Buskin says, misunderstood. I thought you meant the class mount, but I forgot you get access to all your mounts once you get the skill. Yes, that is correct. For those that may not know, You can use any mount in the game, which includes your heirloom mount. So you have that available from say 1 to 20. For Warlocks and Paladins, you do get free level 20 riding, which gives you a 6% speed. But all classes have to learn the 100% speed that you get at 40. And likewise with all your flying as well. So there is a horn we're supposed to click on here. And then I forget where this guy spawns, right there. Okay. Alright, so with that, she hits for about 15%, so it's a long cast, so there's not too much of a concern with that. I think it's about a 3 or 4 second cast, so it's not too bad. Alright, so with that, we're good here. And our Hearthstone's still not up. We have about 11 minutes on it, so we'll just run back. We'll just avoid the horde camp altogether, though. And let's see. I think at this point in time, we have to kill the little dragon can in this area. I do miss the days where you had your random world bosses pop up. That used to be pretty fun to run around and kill those guys in the world. Alright, so that's our horde camp. We'll avoid that and keep going this way. I think there was what? Used to be 4 dragons out in the world? And that was fun. Like I said, it was pretty neat, especially back in those days where you didn't have your Thoughtbot, your WoW head and everything else, and all your YouTube videos that you'd look at. But you know, you'd just come across this massive elite, and you only pulled them once. The quickness and brevity of how fast he killed you was pretty substantial, unless you were a hunter, and then you kited him, which had a whole new element of fun. It was funny because a lot of your hunters there were a lot of hunters that didn't have a skill set in DPSing, but they had a significant skill set in kiting and bringing everything to either Ogremar or Stormwind. Those were fun, especially when you log in Stormwind and you get one-shotted as soon as you log in. There's nothing but guards and everything, or corpses of guards all around you. Alright, with that, let's go ahead and we have to kill the little whelps, actually 10 of them. I'm kind of surprised that the quest chain in this area is as short as it is. It seems like it would be pretty interesting. You know, you could, especially with the portal being there and everything, you could branch this out into a little epic adventure in and of itself, but I think just for the sake of leveling processes, they don't really venture too far into the storyline here anymore. And here he says, druids get first flying for free. Do they really? Okay. It's like one more out of 100 reasons to be a druid. That's kind of nice. That's a significant savings in gold. Alright, so with that, we're good. And we need 8 more. Westgate says, yes, there were 4. Okay, I thought there were. I wasn't 100% sure on that. Let's see here. We need... Yeah, I think, like I said, Fairless it's a good questing zone, but you know, getting into it is a little bit slow. We're back to doing one quest at a time. But once we've knocked out our second flight point, we do most of our quests there 2 at a time, and then once we start getting into our outposts, the questing and XP builds up pretty quick. I don't know if we'll make it to that point yet in this stream. We're right about the 2-hour mark, and like I said, I do want to get back into either doing extended streams or splitting the streams up into morning and afternoon. I think, to be honest, the way YouTube works, it might be best to do it mornings and afternoons, because it seems like once we get into that 3-hour window, there's a lot of bugs that occur on YouTube, whether it's chat not loading or there's a significant lag spike at that 3-hour mark and kind of kicks people off. So it might be worth considering to do a 3-hour stream in the morning and then maybe another in the afternoon on certain days. But we'll see. Like I said, we're working on it. Trying to get a pattern set up here that is consistent more than anything else. It says, I think the symbol on the map where they used to spawn. Oh, in this area? Yeah, they I've noticed a lot of times that when you're questing, even though this is, you know, quote unquote newer than say Burning Crusade or what's the other one? Burning Crusade or Wrath of the Lich King. The quest indicators aren't 100% accurate, and they're even. It seems like the smaller it is, the more often that it's inaccurate. Not to say that it's inaccurate most of the time; it's just more as it gets smaller and smaller. So that is something to kind of be aware of. You know, if you're questing and the mob or the item that you're looking for is not in that indicated area, and it's a smaller area, don't be afraid to kind of, you know, go outside that little window and see if it's what do you want to call it? If I can figure out where I need to go. Here we go. Just see if it's outside that questing area. That took a lot longer than I needed it to. So with that, see, it used to be if you were in combat, yeah, he's not going to hit us. Okay. It used to be whenever you got in combat and you were on your strider, it would knock you into the water. So I'm glad that they've gotten rid of that. That used to be a huge pain. Similar to back in vanilla, where whenever you jumped into the water with a mount, it dismounted you. Those were fun times. This game says on the large map it looks like Omega sign. Let's see. Oh, I guess since we completed it, it's already taken away. Okay. Right, so that is level 38. So leveling pretty well here. We have suffering. Oh, okay. Just another taunt ability for the Void Walker. It's already on the bar, so there we go. Set that aside, and then we need to kill just about everything in the surrounding area. So yeah, we'll take care of these two, and then we did get a third quest. Oh, to go into Dire Maul. Normally what I'll do is I'll pick up the quest to go into a dungeon, but never actually complete those. Those actually, you can't, the restriction is you can go into a dungeon if you want to, and you can actually kill mobs there, but you can't technically kill any sort of bosses or it'll flag your account. Then Moist Game says, let's see if we can avoid this guy. Duskwood, Hinterlands, Fearless, and one I can't remember, it's been a long time. Oh yeah, as far as those dragons. I do remember Duskwood, I do remember Hinterlands, Fearless. Let me think. Where was that fourth dragon at? Lost says 38 hype, very nice, thank you Lost, appreciate that. We have made it to 38. We started today at 35 I believe, so not too bad, not too bad. Trying to think where that fourth, what says Ashenvale. Let me think. Where was it? Oh, you know what? They revamped Ashenvale, so that's probably why I don't remember where it was. They added that massive volcano right in the middle of Ashenvale, I think. But yep, that's right. You're right. For some reason, I was thinking Outland at one point. Not Outland, sorry. Blasted Lands. I think it was the one in Hinterlands where I kind of discovered how hard it hits. Level, what was it? Hinterlands back then, 40 something? 45? And yeah, that thing just about one-shotted me. So we'll grab the tier here. So we need 7 tiers and 6 of these guys slain. I wonder if it'd be faster if I just try to mount more often. Alright, so with that, let's go ahead and nuke this guy here. And Moist says, to the far east near Forest Song. Maybe I've missed that one. Yeah, I'd have to go back and look and see. I might remember if I went back there and looked, but I just don't remember the location at all. You know what? Wait a minute. Was it near the old Night Elf runes? I think there was Night Elf runes nearby. Am I thinking of the right thing? I think I guess a lot of them had Night Elf runes all around them if I think about it. Alright, so with that, let's go ahead and grab the last tier, and I think we need 2 more of these guys, so let's go ahead and knock them out. And there we go, that's 5 or 6, and we'll get the last guy. I think I'm going to wait until we find one in combat. I'd rather not take one on one-on-one. They might hit harder than I expect, so we'll go grab this guy. There we go. Yeah, I'm trying to remember where that one dragon was though. I'll have to go back and look. I'm sure it's. Did they have the dragons up on those private servers? I can't remember if they were able to import those in or not. I've never actually been on a private server, but I noticed that they're pretty popular on YouTube for now, anyway. I think YouTube's gonna crack down on those pretty hard pretty soon, just due to the nature of the copyright. There we go. We'll go in this direction. Yeah, just due to the nature of how aggressive YouTube is, generally speaking, with copyrights. Case in point is just the music, as well as movies that people put up from time to time. Alright, so I think we'll go in this direction here. Alright, we're good. And Moiskin says, it's the furthest northeastern corner of Ashenvale, and you realize your error when you suddenly found the elites. Nice. Yeah, I think maybe I never saw that one. Maybe that's why I'm not remembering it. But I know I saw the one in the hinterlands, because that one killed me at least once, probably more, when I was 60. You know, it's something interesting as well as the newer world bosses, the ones that we find in Argus. Those guys hit pretty hard, and they have a ton of health. I don't think I've died to world bosses like that as much as I've died to these new ones in Argus. Alright, so with that, let's go ahead and turn this in real quick. Speaking of Argus, I did kill the boss this week, and I did try the RNG machine for 2 more shots at a high level pair of shoulders, but still only got 910. So if you're having bad luck, you're not alone. Today was not a good day for loot for me. No. Alright, so with that, let's go ahead and blow this up. Actually, we probably should save that. Let me see if I can build my soul shards back up, just so we can take care of this guy. Warfare. Sleeping fog. I think that does get us our soul shards we need. So we'll just nuke this guy real quick. And I think once he's dead, we just use the item to close the portal at that point in time. I think that's how it went. Alright, so with that, stay out of the fog, that way we don't get put to sleep here. And there we go. So we'll run up here, shut down the portal, and then head back. Alright, not bad. Let me switch over to the water strider, just so we don't have to spend 5 minutes crossing this little bit of water here. But yeah, I think I'll spend a decent amount of a decent portion of time this weekend in Argus. That way, we can at least come back on Monday and let you guys know that I have a pair of 915 shoulders. With that, we'll turn that in, and we are closing in on a halfway point. It's almost halfway to level 39 at the moment. And it's too bad we can't get a fight path over there. For this next location, there's a goblin. There's two entrances going into, what is this called? Feathermoon? Yeah, Feathermoon. There's two entrances going into Feathermoon, and from this direction, you want to enter into Feathermoon taking the second entrance, because there's a goblin there that has a quest to kill elementals as well as the giants. So it just kind of saves time rather than having to run down there and then on your way back out find the quest and then turn around and have to run back down there again. So you want to take the second entrance into Feathermoon from this direction, and that'll make more sense once we work our way there. Dust Rare is not back up. We didn't expect them to be. Like I said, I think the timer for these guys, generally speaking, is probably from 1 to 2 hours. So you just kind of want to kill them when you can, but definitely don't hang around and wait for them. That'd be a pretty huge time sink, to be honest. We will have to sell some stuff here pretty soon, and I'm going to avoid this guy as much as possible. There we go. Just because killing him really has no real value. If we killed him, it just take too much time just dismounting, casting our spells, and then you know, mounting back up and taking off again. As a hunter, it seems like that wouldn't be too big of a deal, just because of the nature of the DPS from a hunter is pretty instant. We could apply Kill Command as well as Cobra Shot in the first 2 seconds, and that would take out most of his health. But as a Warlock, you know, you either have your 3-second Chaos Bolt, or you have all your dots that you have to apply, and even after 5 seconds, normally they still have most of their health. So it's just a little bit slower DPS application. But we do want to grab the fight path here, and then pick up our new Hearthstone. So with that, should be good here. Make this in our home. Perfect. Well, it says I'm back. It was just wasn't our day. We lost to them. Did you really? Was it a RBG or was it random? Also, previously I have run up on this table and then run off the ledge and jump down. I did experience a bug where it kind of glitched me down, and I don't know if that has a good chance of allowing you to fall through the world, but just be careful of that. It's we have died due to a bug, so I'd hate to lose an Ironman challenger at level what, 38 due to a bug, so just kind of be careful on that side. With that, let's go ahead and turn this in, pick this up, and head out in this direction. Hopefully we'll pick up the rare that's here as well. From what I've seen, this rare has 3 different spawn locations. It is a Naga that casts spells as opposed to a melee one, and there's also a chest out there. I'll point those out once we make it that far. See if we can squeeze through here without aggroing everything in our path, specifically that guy. Okay. While we're running across the sea. Moy says, if you're on a water strider, don't you have access to the yak or mammoth? Yes, Moist, we do. So that's one of the biggest reasons I try to get my, if I'm a hunter, my mount training done at level 20, just because it kind of negates the need for bag to a certain extent. You can just mount up, sell stuff, and then be on your way up until your bags are full of stuff you want to throw in the auction house. But yes, we do have access to the yak or mammoth. Well, it says depends on who's on. If our core PvP players are on, it would be RBGs, but if not, just have to just a normals. Oh, pug it out. Just to pug it with normals. Yeah, it's been, man. I think the last time I did an RBG was in Mist of Pandaria, and yeah, I think we lost. I think we lost like all 2 or 3 games, and people were just done and on their way. But PvP is something I would like to eventually get. Not an expert at by any means, because that's a significant time investment. But I would like to improve my skill set just a little bit. Hopefully, we'll kind of work our way to getting to that point and getting up to Prestige 21. All right, so as far as the rare and the chest goes, let's go ahead and point that out where we can. This next building has the named mob that we need to kill, but it also sometimes has the rare spawn there, and as well as the chest. And I'll show you guys exactly where here in a second. So once we kill the general, alright, so behind the general usually there's a chest, and looks like there is one now actually. Oh, so we lucked out. But sometimes you can catch everything in this building. Oh wow, he has a lot of health. You know, you can catch everything in this building, and there'll be a rare between the chest and the general. So hopefully we can grab this chest and back out before the general respawns, because he does have a pretty quick timer. I'd rather not fight him again. It's just because of all the health he has. But there you go. We have the Black Knight. That's kind of nice. That's really nice, actually. Do I have that? I think I do. I like that. That's pretty nice looking. Alright, so with that, just so we don't have the general spawn on top of us, the rear spawn will have 2 other buildings she can pop up in, so we'll work our way around and just check that out. Man says, hey Q, just a heads up for when you get back to the hunter, there's a bowyer in the Exodar that sells level 16 and 20 bows and the level 29 crossbow. Oh, nice. Alright, yeah, I'll check that out when we get back to the hunter. Thank you, Minj. The, I'm gonna say, which one was it? The level 31 bow, the BKP, is kind of hard to come across. It's the best gun that you're going to find at a white quality level until you hit Outlands, but the problem with it is it requires level 31, but it's not, I think the first accessible vendor is either if you have a decent rep with the pirates, or if you're able to kind of snake your way into the Badlands. And I think Badlands are a little bit higher level these days. I think Badlands used to be at a lower level, but I want to say it's in your early 40s that you're in Badlands. Alright, so with that, we're good there. And let's see if... there she is. That's her right there. So I was going to say we'll open up with a Chaos Bolt, but we don't have one, so let's go kill one more guy. I try to, as much as possible, open up on rares with a Chaos Bolt, just because those guys can hit pretty hard. So that's going to be 8, and then maybe we'll get close to 2 off. Perfect. That worked out well. And nice. So with that, we're on our way. I think we need to kill 2 more, and we'll head back to Feathermoon. Man says also in Tannerus. Really? They sell the gun in Tannerus as well. I didn't know that. Well, I guess that makes sense because Tannerus is level what, 45 to 50? Let me see. Yeah, 45 to 50. So that makes sense. So either way, if you go to Badlands or Tannerus, Tannerus is probably the easier one to get into just because the main city is right there at the entrance of the zone. So that's not too bad. Alright, so with that, we are done here. We'll turn these 2 quests in. I am in combat with something. I'm not sure what, so we'll just keep moving in this direction. Hopefully if we run long enough, we'll drop combat and then we can run across the water here. And then Min says, yep, checked it out on my hunt. Okay, very nice. Yeah, I might have to make a little bit of a adventure to go that way. Oops, let's jump back on the water strider. And we'll avoid this guy. We don't really need him for anything. We'll also turn in these 2 quests, and then I don't think we get a... I think our follow-up is to go to the next leveling outpost, but then we want to head north. Is it? No, south of Feathermoon to kill the elementals as well as the giants. So we'll do that as soon as we turn these in real quick. It says, yep, checking on Wildhead. Yeah, initially I had gone to Stranglethorn Vale to get mine because I figured since Stranglethorn Vale had the lowest level mobs there, it'd be the easiest. But I think you need to purchase the gun from a vendor on one of the ships from the pirates, and I want to say that involves rep grinding. So it wasn't something I was willing to do at level, what was it, 35 at the time. So let's avoid the sea spray. That's what they're called, sea sprays. I've never had a Warlock, but I don't think they have interrupt without picking any talents. Yeah, no, I think you're right, Moist. When we died at level 66, I did not have a interrupt. So I think the best thing I could do would be to either drop the Inferno on top of them once we get that, or maybe see if we can get a fear cast before they finish their cast, but that's pretty difficult to do. Alright, so with that, we're good. We have that quest to start heading out west, but we'll knock out the sea sprays and the giants here first. Mike says, yes, my favorite streamer. What's going on, Mike? Good morning. How are you doing? Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Welcome back to the stream, by the way. We've made it almost to 39, so that's not too bad. I think the leveling is starting to slow down just a little bit due to the fact that, you know, we're getting back up into the higher levels, but still not too bad, I don't think. So with that, the reason we're not killing these guys right here is just because if we try to, we'd have to get up and either mount up after every kill or swim. It's just a little bit longer to pull them all, and there's no real reason to do that. I guess for a dwarf or a gnome, we're still gonna swim anyway. But these guys are close enough to the shore that we don't have to mess with them all too much. So we'll put the quest item up here. And it says, where you are now, the most annoying things are the horde poachers who spring up when you're rallying the dragons, giants, and etc. Yeah, I would say so. The poachers actually hit really hard too. Those guys, I think there's been a couple times where they've let's go ahead and use this. There's been a couple times where they've hit me and they've dropped me down into 60% in about 2 seconds. So they do hit hard, and they also spawn late. So sometimes you can take off and run away and then realize that you know, a second or two later the poacher spawned, and he just makes killing them a little bit more difficult. What says, that's rough not having an interrupt really gives good advice. Wait, no. Yeah, pretty much. Let's nuke this guy. Yeah, I didn't really notice that until I guess I noticed it early on, but I had just assumed that we'd start to get an interrupt at level 30 something, or it's kind of similar to a hunter or most of the other classes, but no, not the case. And like you said, it might be in the talent, but I don't even open the talent toolbar to look and see, just on the off chance if I click it, there's no way to undo it. So Sam's taking a pretty heavy hit, so we'll go ahead and resummon him and keep pulling here. William says, "Good morning, Kuhn." Good morning, William. How are you doing? Welcome back. Says the end of the challenge is in sight. What's next for you after this? So it looks like, if we survive the next couple of minutes here, as well as the next stream, we'll probably be closing in on 43 to 45 or something like that. Oops. I need to use this first. 43, 45. So that being said, when we stopped on our 5th hunter, he was level 35. So taking those two facts into account, what we'll probably do is finish with the Warlock. So we'll go into October with the Warlock and see how far we can get. Hopefully to 110, of course. But if we die on the Warlock, then that'll be it for the Warlock class. We'll go back to the Hunter and see if we can level that way. But since we are already past the level 35 that the Hunter is, we're going to stick with the Warlock until we get to 110 or die, and then we'll go back. Alright, so with that, how's your morning going, by the way, William? I didn't even ask you. Going to use the item on this guy and then blow him up. And then Min says, William, he still has the Hunter to go back to after the Warlock challenge, which is correct, yes. And it was going to be that if the Warlock was, say, level 28 or level 30, we would have just kind of switched over to the Hunter and kept progressing that way, but we're at a point where the Warlock has further progress than the Hunter, so we'll just finish it out. Plus, like I said, I've never leveled a Dwarf, so we'll see how far I can get with a Dwarf. I need to macro, I did write it down this time, to macro my Stone Form and Soul Shard, or Hellstone. That, let's see if we can get closer to him here. So we get a 3-second cast off, and I think we need 2 more? Yeah, 2 more of the miniaturization residue. But yeah, as far as the Warlock challenge goes, I think for the most part, most of it is pretty set in stone. I want to say, let's see, only has the highest level at the moment, as well as the fastest 0 to 60 times. So he was able to get both of those. But I want to say Keithy has something about there's a 1 prize limit, so I'm not sure who's got the next prizes, but there's only 1 person above level 60 at the moment, so I think everything's pretty much set in stone for the most part. We'll have a little bit better luck when we come to the Paladins, I think. I hope. I might be wrong. It is melee, so that's going to change it up a little bit as well. It says the morning is okay, I suppose. It's been raining for 5 days. I'd like to see sun eventually. Alas, not today. That's funny. It's been pretty sunny here for the most part, and I want to say Hurricane Maria's off the coast somewhere, but it doesn't look like she's going to affect anything more than what she already has. And as far as the rest of the hurricanes and thunderstorms, I think that's about it. I know we're still in the hurricane season, so I don't want to jinx myself or anything, but I think the peak of it's come and gone at least. Alright, so with that, we still need 3 more cores here. I don't know if I don't think these guys have a 100% drop rate, so yeah, but they don't. Alright, so let's go ahead and nuke this guy. Jennifer says, whoop, DKS has level 60. I don't quite believe I can fly. Very nice, Jennifer. The, are you Horde or Alliance? No, you're in the guild, that's right, you're Alliance. Yours is Storm. Very nice. For some reason I was thinking you were leveling on your server. Alright, so with that, but I see here says downside to DK, not quite enough time to gain the funds for flying before you hit level 60. Yeah, the good thing though is that when you do the randoms, those actually generate a decent amount of gold. And even more so if you're a tank spec. I don't know if you like tanking or not, but I think sometimes in the early dungeons, early levels, you know, with your, I don't know, level 15 to 35, sometimes there's a higher call for DPS just because you have a lot of people giving tanking or healing a shot. But those who you know, enjoy it or don't enjoy it, they kind of start to fade away once you get to your outland levels. And so your warriors, not your warriors, your tanks, your healers start to become in higher and higher demand as you increase in levels, if that makes any sense. And then with that, did we get, oh, we're done with the residue, okay. Short strider, so, oh no, we don't need that. All we need are elementals at this point. Okay, we're good. Voice game says, that's why you have another to help. Oops, there we go. Jennifer says, truth, my DK is blood, but I'm a good tank. I'm trying to learn. It's not that bad. Tanking's just more or less running into mobs and blowing all your AoE. And hoping the DPS kill them before they kill you. That's really about it. I think the only other technical aspect is generally tanking. If you have a caster, if you can run around a corner and line of sight them, it makes the pulls a little bit cleaner. But outside of that, it's really not bad. The aggro comes pretty inherently. I think the hardest time I have sometimes in tanking, especially the lower level dungeons, is that you get your DPS a little bit too excited sometimes, especially if you're pulling fast, and then before you know it, people are pulling for you, and you have 2 or 3 packs of mobs coming from all different directions toward you, or even worse, toward the healer, because they decided to pull a pack with a single shot spell. Alright, so with that, alright, so we have our 10 here. We'll turn this into the gnome, and we'll switch the water strider, turn it into the gnome, and we will head toward this area. Now we're starting to get into the area where this is the more efficient style of questing for Fairless. We're starting to do 3 and 4 quests at a time, so I want to see if I can avoid getting in combat with these guys. Kadrogo says, evening Q, how's it going? I haven't seen you in a while. How are you doing? Welcome back. We're doing pretty good. We started today at 35, and I think we're going to hit 39 here in about a minute or two. How's your evening? Johnny Blaze says, Jennifer, if you're trying to learn to tank or trying to learn how to play Blood DK, there's a YouTuber, however you say that name. Oh, One Legion. There we go. One Legion TV that has all sorts of guides. Oh, there you go. Yeah, and generally speaking, I think tanking and healing are mindset kind of things. You know, if you have the mindset or the mentality to just get in there and smash things up, that's a pretty good tanking aspect. A lot of people, especially at your lower levels, get impatient with the careful pulls. So sometimes it's just best to run in there, blow a defensive cooldown, pull a bunch of stuff, and then try to make it as neat as possible. But it's not by any means a big deal if you wipe. Alright, so with that, we're good. And we are now heading toward the next questing location. And then, let's see, Mo says, Preacher does good guides too. Yeah, Preacher does. I want to say his are. He does mythic rating, doesn't he? For the most part, I think he does. I haven't seen his stuff in quite a while, but I think he does. Rogue says, "Sweet man, great work. Thank you, sir. We're getting there. I don't think we're going to win any prizes by any means, but we're going to stick with it all the way up until Saturday. I think it's the last day, so it's been fun. It's been a fun month. I've enjoyed playing the Warlock and learning the class a good bit. It has made me a little bit more efficient and effective with my 110 Warlock, that's for sure. So with that, we'll grab the fight path here, and I think we need to rally these wisps here pretty soon. Johnny says, definitely a mindset. I've never healed to this expansion, and I'm having more fun than I thought I would. Really? I've never been the type to heal myself, actually. Kind of been one of those that either tanks or DPS, and usually I'll wait till the content's a little bit older before I tank, just because I'd rather watch a couple of the other guys and how they pull before I venture out and do it on my own. But yeah, definitely a mindset kind of thing. Alright, so with that we have those quests as well as these, and do we have one up there? No. So let's run around, collect all the wisp, I think, right? So we got that one. I don't think we'll get any poachers on these first three. I might be wrong, but I don't think we do. Alright, there's that one. And then this one. Pretty easy quest. And then Big says, hey Q, what's going on, Big? Welcome back. How are you doing? How's your morning going? Alright, so we're about 20% in, so not bad. We have the horn once again, but we need it to rally the hippogriffs, I believe. Now throughout this area there's rares pretty much everywhere. So we'll try to go through it. The first one, we're going to see if we can find the black bear. There's what are these things called? These are iron fur bears. They're mostly gray, so when you come across the a dark or almost black one, that's the one that should be the rare, I believe. That one's iron fur. It does have a wide patrolling radius, so I'm not going to spend too much time hunting it down. But we tried. Alright, so let's go ahead and take care of this, I suppose. Dave says, I love the zone pre-cata, didn't really love it, or don't really love it anymore. I'm trying to think. I didn't question it all that much, David. I do remember running around on the islands that are now underwater, but I didn't spend a whole lot of time on in this zone, to be honest. I know I wasn't a fan of Silithus back then. Honestly, I'm still not. But this is the quest where we start to first get our poachers. So we kind of have to sit here, wait a minute before they take off. That way, if we run ourselves, then there's a good chance that the poacher's going to pop up. Looks like we're good. So we'll go ahead and free this guy up over here. William says, Preach also does a series of mythic dungeons with pugs for the lost. Oops, there we go. So we'll go ahead and nuke this guy real quick. That's not bad. I think having a pet on defensive actually helps quite a bit for this. So we'll set this one off. And that's exactly what I expected. We'll get our health back up and then blow this guy apart. And Jennifer says, I watched the vids on those challenges, and yeah, I tried the steps suggested on my hunter and failed utterly. Oh, as far as the... Which one is it? Mythic rating? Oh, for the tower challenge. Really? He did every class. Oh, nearly every class. Still, that's pretty impressive. I need to venture out and do it on my DK. I did it, I think, once when it first came out. And I want to say I died in the first 10 seconds. So it's like, yeah, no, I'll wait till I have better gear. but I never had a chance to step back foot into the Mage Tower, so I'll try to do that here pretty soon. I think some people stream it. I've watched Sea Breezy. She plays a Paladin, and I think she managed to do it on her healer. But she had a couple close calls. Alright, so with that, let's go ahead and continue to rally these guys. We haven't had too many poachers so far, so that's been kind of nice. Probably spoke too soon though. There is a rare hippogriff that flies around in the area, so we'll see if he's up. I didn't see the black bear, so a lot of times if you don't see one rare, you won't necessarily see another, just because I think some higher levels sometimes farm them. So if we don't see this one in the next 10 or 15 seconds, we'll not spend too much time hunting it down. There we go. Oh, we lucked out. Alright, so we'll open up with a Chaos Bolt and everything else in our arsenal. X-Man is doing good. Just woke up. Very nice, big. Like I said, welcome back to the channel. We are actually almost halfway to 40, so we're doing fairly well. Haven't had a close call yet this morning. Had a couple instances where we've gotten down to about 60%, but I think we've been doing this long enough where we don't even call those close calls anymore. And David says, I got lost in here early in my wildlife, and it was an amazing area kind of to run around and see the night elves had to offer. Yeah, I kind of had that same experience with the early zones of the Night Elf area. You know, Teldrassil, Ashenvale, Darkshore. A lot of those had that kind of same atmosphere. Not quite as big as, like you said, Fairless, but still a very Night Elf-like zone. The music's nice and everything else. Alright, so that's one of 16 ogres. And he says it's not the same anymore. The Mage Tower is both frustrating and fun at the same time. Love the challenge, but it's those 1 and 2% success deaths that are really painful. Yeah, I'm probably going to encounter that here pretty soon. I think next time it's up, I'll give it a shot. I want to say it just went down on my server, so it might be another week or so before it comes back up. So let's go ahead and nuke this guy. There we go. Like says, I've run into multiple rares on many occasions. Yeah, in this area, for some odd reason, it's not as I don't know why, it's not as popular as some of the other leveling zones. So it's pretty good as far as the leveling process. It just starts out slow, so maybe that's part of it, but the leveling here is not bad at all. Alright, so with that, we need 11 more of these guys. It says the Horde got all of South Shore, but lost quite a lot in the Barrens. Yeah, that's one reason I don't really want to level in the Barrens, is that there's a lot of Horde and Alliance presence, so there's a good chance of running into the other faction, whether that's a faction NPC or maybe some other mod that I'm not aware of, but it seems kind of a risky zone. And I think that's where Keithy died last time, actually, doing the fire quest. Lois says, I'm gonna take a nap. My stomach is killing me. I'm sorry, Lois. Sorry to hear that. I know that's rough to deal with. Says, it was nice seeing you. Have a great day, Q, and everyone else. Alright, Lois. Hopefully you feel better here pretty soon. And we'll see you, I think, Saturday, hopefully. Alright, so let's go ahead and we need 7 more of these guys. Alright, so with that, I think we should probably resummon Sam just in case. Actually, I'm going to save him. We do have a Chaos Bolt, so we might be able to one-shot this guy anyway. There we go. So with that, we'll start with this guy. And David says, went down on Monday. It is a regional thing. Oh, is it really? Okay. I did not know that. I thought it was server-based. I guess it makes sense, because if you know, if you get the other one up more often, you know, some people might have more access to loot than others with regards to the boss that spawns, so that makes sense. Trying to catch back up here, make sure I didn't miss anything. Weston says the buildings are usually up for 3 days, so you know when it will be back. Usually, I want to say, yeah, like I said, usually the case, but with the fact that everybody's now on Argus instead of the Broken Shore, I think the buildings are starting to go up a lot slower than they used to. Now, however long they stay up for, that might be a set thing. Might be 3 days, like you're saying. But as far as building the actual buildings up, I think that takes a little bit longer since 7.3 launched. Carrie says, can you change your specs for Ironman now? What are the new rules? Carrie, welcome to the stream. Yes, so let me put those back up. They haven't been up in a little while, so we'll do that. The rules are on your right, but you have the, what do we call it? The more details of the rules and the links to that in the description. But yeah, as far as the specs go, you can switch pretty much between any spec you want to. For hunters, they by default they start out with Beastmaster. For warlocks, they start out with Affliction. But yeah, you can switch in between them as you feel necessary. The only rule is within all your specs, just no application or no usage of talents whatsoever. So, but switching between them, there's no issue with that. We're going to try to keep an eye out for the bear. One of the other major change points for the Ironman challenge from Legion, from before Legion to current Legion, is that you can have a mount, any mount in your repertoire you're allowed to use. I think that's our bear. Nice. So we're not in combat, so we'll start out with that. This guy can hit hard sometimes. But yeah, going back to the rules here. There we go. Going back to the rules. You can use the heirloom mount now. You can use your vendor mount, your water strider, pretty much anything you want. Let me pull that back down. And what are some other ones I'm trying to think of here? I want to say foods. There's a change in the food. I don't think you could eat food before Legion. I might be wrong, but now you can, as long as it doesn't give you a buff of any sort. All right, so we're good there. Deliver the orb to that person, and that's awesome. I had miscounted in my head, so we might have to go back and kill one ogre, but we'll do that later. And Carrie says, yeah, I'm thinking about Affliction would be super easy to do the Ironman now. Yeah, honestly, Carrie, that's a good point. I think Affliction is your safest spec. I think Destruction is probably your fastest, generally speaking. You get a Chaos Bolt quite often. I'd say on average, every other pull, we have a Chaos Bolt available to us. So, but yeah, Affliction definitely has that integrated Drain Soul, and it allows you to heal yourself for 200% of the damage done. So yes, it's a very good spec for we need Treants Rally. Okay, it's a very good spec for the Ironman challenge. I did start out with that, but in an effort to be as competitive as possible, I switched to Destruction, and actually kind of like the spec just because it's has that one-shot mechanic to it. So we'll rally these guys. You can accidentally, there we go. You can accidentally attack them, so just kind of be careful of that. Alright, with that, we're good. Weston says you can have any spec but no talents, which is 100% accurate. So we'll go, I'm going to just kill this bear so that I don't have to worry about him. Weston says, rogues using pickpocket skill get food with no buff. I might start putting that on auction house. Yeah, that, but your level 55 food, for some odd reason, I don't know if they're aware of the numbers or what, but for some odd reason, the level 55 food's pretty much what you're going to be using all the way up to level 75. which sounds worse than it is, but you get so much health from your level 55 food that you can do so. Let's see, I am level almost 40, and I'm using level 25 food. At almost level 40, I have close to 2k health, but the level 25 food will heal me for 2500 health in about 30 seconds. So you know, with those types of numbers, your level 55 food will carry you all the way up to 75 without too much of an issue, to be honest. Gary says, oh, I played distro at 110, so I'm familiar with the specs. Distro is more fun. It is. I've actually had a ton of fun with the Chaos Bolt here. A lot of people come in, you know, unfamiliar with the challenge, and they see the Chaos Bolt without realizing the cost and the cast time associated with it, and consider the challenge easy. But there's no getting around the Chaos Bolts. Does make it a little bit easier in the sense that every other mob you're almost one-shotting, but it is actually a lot of fun. Just being able to have that 3-second cast is about to, you know, blow something up real easily. Let's go ahead and rally this last one, or no, we need 2 more. So even though this is a bear, I guess the other thing is the Chaos Bolt, I think it negates armor. So even though the bear is pretty decked out in armor, it doesn't really matter all too much. And we'll pop this up. But yeah, I think the destruction spell is what's made this Warlock a lot more addicting than it would be normally. We do need to kill one more of these guys, so we'll come back and nuke this one. Alright, so that's that. And then we'll rally this guy. And no poacher. Nice. So we have 2 quests to turn in, and oh, you know what? I think we're supposed to. Well, we'll just turn these in. No big deal. And then David says the problem with Mage Tower is that it requires Legion Fall resources. Most people are not collecting them because it isn't rewarding anymore. Exactly, David. I think that's the biggest problem. Is maybe in the future they can tone down the requirements, just or at least maybe buff the drop rate of the Legion Fall resources. But either way, if they don't, the buildings are going to take much longer to construct, because like you said, it's not current content anymore, and people just really don't have too much of a reason to farm that material or those resources. Right, so with that, we're good there. And what do we need here? Oh, that's right. I guess we can knock this out. Yeah, that should finish us off pretty well, actually. And Carrie says, no, they changed all the armor bypassing mechanics. It just hits like a truck. Oh really? So, that's a bummer. I know a lot of people were complaining in PvP about it, but I thought it was pretty fun. It's in all the videos that I've watched people play the Destruction Warlock as well as playing the Warlock now, the Chaos Bolt's pretty fun. It does add an element of I guess an alternative playstyle. You know, speaking with you usually associate Warlocks with dots and whatnot, so this is just kind of nice to mix it up a bit. Weston says, with Access Argus gear, you don't need to group up for shore bosses anymore unless you're a healer, of course. Oh, I see what you're saying. Really? A lot of people are actually just kind of soloing it or picking up a local group. That's interesting. Yeah, it's kind of funny you say that, because one time me and the girlfriend, we were running around just doing our normal questing, and one of the bosses were up, and I think this was long before we had actually set aside or actually learned that the boss spawns as the as one of the buildings are, you know, created. And we had seen this mob in the middle of nowhere, and kind of like had a quest with a pretty heavy reward associated with it. So we were like, all right, well, we'll just go ahead and do that quest. And I wonder if I open up with, if I one-shot him. Oh, that was nice. It's never gone that smooth. But no, we were we just assumed it was another quest, so we had spent, she's the healer and I had switched to tank spec, and I think we had spent a good 10 minutes trying to kill this thing and hadn't died, was whittling his health away down to about 60% before someone else came to start tagging, and then everybody kind of flew in, but we did 2-man it for about 10 minutes. That was kind of fun. Let's see, Carrie says they already turned down the amount of turn-ins. They said it would turn them out to make it pop as frequently. Oh, they already did. Okay. Well, there you go. We might get the Mage Tower more often than I thought then. I did not know that. Thank you, Carrie. Says might need to do it again though. And we have, what is that? Oh. I thought that was a horde for a second. I think I'm borderline paranoid in this area for the horde spawns, but probably unnecessarily, to be honest. Alright, so let's get out of that real quick. But nope, just a random hyena patrol. Alright, so with that we're good. We need 4 of each. So let's go take out this guy. But yeah, that whole story, just to say, I guess it would be manageable for someone to be able to solo those bosses on the Broken Shore. Looks like we might be coming across that 3-hour bug. So since we are coming up on the 3-hour mark, if it hasn't already happened, let me put myself in a safe location here. If it hasn't already happened, usually at the 3-hour, 3:15 mark, in between there somewhere, it'll kick people off the stream randomly. So if you happen to be one of those people, we are going to wrap it up here pretty soon, but I'm definitely not kicking people off. So it's just one of those bugs on YouTube, so I'm not sure why that's going on. And there we go. So that's that, and let's go ahead and kill these 2 guys. That'll put us at 6 for the mages, I believe, right? Yep. So that'll leave I need for 3 kills on the ogres, or sorry, not the ogres, but the enforcers, since they're all ogres. And David says, hi, sorry, what's the Ironman challenge, please? Good morning, David, how are you doing? Welcome to the stream. We are the Ironman challenge. Let me go ahead and put that back up. So that's a quick list of the rules. The more detailed list is, there's a link to the description, or in the description. But in short, it's leveling from 1 to 110 without dying, using only white and gray quality gear. So, you know, all this right here, this is all we've been running around with. And to do so, it's a solo challenge, so do so only using either grinding mobs or questing. So you can't do any sort of pet battle leveling, any sort of dungeons or battlegrounds. And a death is a death. So whether the death comes from a PvP encounter where a guard kills you, or whether it's a bug and it just so happens that, you know, the game crashed or something along those lines. It's just one of those things where a death is a death. So to kind of give you an idea of the difficulty, I'll put those back down. There's been over 20,000 attempts, and there's only 22 people currently and who've made a character that's made it up to 110. So still considered, it's easier than it used to be, but it's still considered the hardest challenge in the game. But it's actually really fun. It adds an element of questing that, you know, if you die due to a quest or due to a bad pull or anything like that, you know, the risk is so high, or the what do you want to call it, the fallout is so severe that it just makes everything much more engaging. It'll make more sense to those who've actually tried it, but when you're say at level like I am, level 39, pulling 2 or 3 mobs at a time is a lot more nerve-wracking than it would be if you were in full heirlooms and you know, it's just blowing through mobs like you normally do. Also, when you do die, the challenge is automatically failed, and you pretty much have to start over. back at level 1 or whatever. Yeah, I guess it would be 1. I know Death Knights and Demon Hunters, of course, they do have their separate, what do you want to call it, tracking for those guys, but for all the other classes, it is a start from 1 again, and work your way back up to, hopefully, level 110. That sounds very dangerous. It sounds tough, it sounds difficult, but it's actually a lot of fun, so it's something I've been doing for the past 3 months now. And we're going to keep doing it until we get there. This is my 9th attempt, believe it or not. So we'll get there. It's just learning the process as much as possible. But with that being said, we might close in on 40 here pretty soon. Let's see. Well, I might have timed that just about perfect, because we're hitting our 3 o'clock mark, and hopefully... Look at that. Level 40. It's almost like I planned it. So, let's see. We'll put Havoc down here just for now. Actually, no. We'll, might put Havoc right here. So with that, we are level 40. I'm going to jump down here, turn this quest in. And we are right at the 3-hour mark. So, let's see. Moy says, it's as close to vanilla as you can get these days. Yes, exactly. And says, David says, I wish you luck. Well, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Says, maybe I'll try it too. Sounds also funny. Yeah, it is. It's funny, but it's also a lot of fun. If you're interested, we're in November, December timing. We're going to do a race where all of us are going to level or attempt the Ironman challenge as Paladins. So, I think there's probably going to be a pretty good turnout. We had over 50 for the Warlock race this month. But I think we're going to have more Paladins toward the end of the year, so more than welcome to join us then. But until then, it's just going to be me leveling in the mornings and seeing if I can slowly make my way up to 110. But with that, guys, we are at the 3-hour mark. I did hit level 40 right at the at that point in time, so I think this is a good point for us to call it for today. What's going to happen is that off stream, I'm going to go grab the what do you want to call it, the faster mount speed, I think 100%, and I'll just kind of do that off stream. Otherwise, if I did it on stream, it'd be 20 minutes of stream time just flying. So I try to save us some time for Saturday stream. Oh, and that's another thing, my stream times are in the description for those who are new to the channel, but tomorrow we will be off just because I have a good bit going on tomorrow. But we will pick it up for the last Warlock Day on the 30th. So, that being said, that is our Red Warlock at level 40. So that's the 3rd highest level I've gotten so far, with the Warlocks anyway. There it says, I think Rogue is hardest. Possibly so. At least until you get your, what do you want to call it, your damage mitigation and your, your invisibility and your runaway spells. I think the early levels are going to be pretty difficult. Monkey Bags. Welcome, Monkey Bags. I think that's the first time I've seen your name. It says, I tried going back to vanilla WoW, and it took me a while to remember that I can't pull all the mobs. Yeah, the vanilla days, it was tough. I'm hoping that they do legacy servers just so we can try this challenge on a vanilla style server. I think that would be pretty entertaining and challenging, to be honest. But let's see what it says. Congrats on reaching level 40. Jennifer says, already cute. Have an awesome day. You too, Jennifer. Thank you guys once again for being a part of it. And as always, thank you guys for the handful of subs this morning, as well as the likes, and more than anything, the participation in the chat. It is fun to do this with everyone. Due to my schedule and being sick early this morning, we're going to keep it at 3 hours a day. That way I can catch back up on all the homework I need to do and take care of that. I think I am about 4, 5, 6 hours behind on that. Moist Game says, see you cute. Have fun flying toward Onassis. We'll do, games. You have a great rest of the afternoon as well. And everybody else, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate that very much. It's been a fun 3 months doing the Ironman challenge. We'll talk about that more so on Saturday probably, but thank you guys very much for that. And with that, I think we'll call it here for today. And I will see you guys, like I said, not tomorrow, but Saturday morning at 6. And we'll go for another 3 hours and take it from there. But until then, you guys have a great rest of the day, and I will see you Saturday. Alright, take care.